some of our tier 2s are kind of more just traditional reimaginings of them, and then some of them are like much more kind of crazy, like the
yeah, this is like
Thor.
This is definitely kind of a different style. Is there any effects change, or is it all kind of the same?
I believe they're all the same, but we'll do a quick check.
Oh, kind of like orange style. We didn't check Scotty either, but yeah, you could see like the color change to orange on his auto attacks and all of his abilities too. Yeah, I'm down.
Also, ignore what Odin's are doing.
What do they do? I didn't see what were they doing.
They're not doing anything over there.
They're just that's for the future, and looks like the same ultimate. But yeah, that's an awesome skin. After that though, we have some new skins which are going to be more centered around an event coming soon. So we have
the Master Man. How you guys doing?
Let me see the name. Rocka Bologna. This is like the
Bologna skin,
or yeah, the
what
mid-90s kind of like diner style thing.
Yo, if that weapon looks awesome, I'm gonna play Bologna again.
It has the kind of chrome finish and the kind of teal with the red like headlights. So yeah, it's really awesome. I think this one is one of my favorite skins we've ever done, largely for the weapons and the effects.
Yeah, I've only seen the cards. I haven't really seen them in game yet. So this one has like a full effect change. Yeah, so you can see she's kind of got the short shorts. She's got the kind of tie around with the. I'm not even going to talk about clothes because I'm going to say the wrong thing.
You can see there's tattoos on the side too. What's that say?
What does that say?
Cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb.
Okay.
Cherry bomb.
Does she have any more? Oh, she got a leg one too?
Yeah, roses. I think she has one on her arm.
Oh, that sword isn't as cool as it looked in the freaking card, man.
A spoiler.
Wait, what is that?
Don't worry about that. There's the...
Wait, what was it? Is that a shark too?
There's a shark.
With glasses?
Yeah, I think...
Oh, I'm down.
I want to say there was one more on her arm that I'm missing.
Come on, Pon.
Yeah, here it is. Roma.
What does that say?
Oh, okay, Roma Invicta. There we go. So throwback to the lore. Let's see some of the abilities. What's the
booty
shorts?
shorts?
Gonna go in?
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll show off just kind of the hit effects real quick.
Please have a really cool
so you
two.
can see them.
Oh, there's like
Please
stars.
have a really cool
So you
two.
can
All right,
see
I'm
the glow
down.
for the passive effect.
Okay.
Then we'll go into the shield.
Oh. Wait, what are those icons around it? Is that just another picture of the shield?
Yeah, it's just another picture of the shield.
What does the shield look like on the front?
It's just a blue shield.
Tell
me something cool, please, Hi-Res.
In time. Let's
Okay.
do
Please.
this real quick.
Oh,
What's up, everyone?
Pon, come on, let's go.
There you go. There's a shield in front.
Oh, it's like a hub.
Yep.
Like a kind of car hub. Okay, I'm done.
And
All right, what's
let's see it hit someone, so you can see the effect underneath.
Oh, a little glowing around him too.
It has like I think that's dice. Yeah.
It's dice. Okay. And what's the? Do we want to save? So you told me Bludgeon's the best one. You want to save that one for last?
I think Bludgeon's
Show
my
me the
favorite.
two.
All right,
we'll save that for
let's
last.
go to Scourge.
So
What's
here's
Scourge?
Show me the two. Oh, that's pretty
So
cool.
it has like the kind of almost like the diner floor checker.
That's actually really
yeah,
fucking cool.
okay.
It looks like some dice stuff.
I don't know, man. There's just dice. Oh yeah, the dice little effects are growing out. All right, let's
Show me
take a look at the alt too.
Bludgeon.
Right, here's
The
the
Roma
ultimate.
Invicta. Oh, there's dice
Oh.
again and stars. Oh, what it's a race car sound.
That's not even that cool. This two better be epic, cause that's okay. It's decent.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
And
decent.
then
Come on,
let's take a look
Adonis.
at the Bludgeon too, because this one also has a voice line, so we got to go through the voice lines afterwards.
The two. Let's do this.
So here is the 2 effect.
Oh, I'm down.
And
What?
you can
Oh,
see
it
the
actually
trail
look at the actually the hammer looks pretty
Oh,
badass.
that's so sick.
Okay,
That
that's
is
pretty
awesome.
fucking cool. Not
Like
gonna
you're
lie.
just like a car. Like you gotta rock
pretty
this
good.
in the Gabrakan one.
Yeah.
With the cars. What was it, Gamma Slamma? With the cars?
I
I think that's it.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm
Maybe.
just like.
You're just making stuff
I'm
up
just
now.
making stuff up at this point. But there's other cars
on
in the
him.
game.
I know I say this a lot with our
I like it.
skins
It's
and
okay.
effects team,
It's not
but,
amazing,
like,
but it's pretty good.
the effects and the skin is just really
Let me know if volume is
This
good
isn't
for you guys.
This isn't even I think.
Oh,
my
and it's
favorite.
a little car too. I didn't see that on
Yeah.
the top of the hammer is actually
Yeah,
a car.
we'll go around.
A hot. Oh, nice.
Wait, what?
So
Alright.
yeah, you
That's
can
like a
see,
jukebox,
you can
not a
see all
car.
that
All
What?
right, let's take a listen to the voice pack because this one also has she has a voice pack. Once again, rock a Bologna.
Yep.
Woohoo! Dig it! Like, wow! Attack left lane! Attack middle lane!
What the fuck is that laugh?
Aw, did I rattle your cage? I can already tell this'll be
Why
a
is she
wrap.
stomping her
taunts.
leg, dude?
Yep.
Eyeballing me?
You
eyeballing
eyeballing me.
Funny. You tell me to get back in the kitchen, but that is also where the knives are.
Oh God, no,
Oh,
not
wow.
that
Oh,
one.
honey, if you want breakfast in bed, sleep in the kitchen. I just tried to kill a spider with hairspray. He's still alive, but his hair looks outstanding.
Is that a shot at Arachne?
Yeah.
No. So that's gonna be that's Rocca Bologna. This is actually an awesome skin. So we have another one that's
It's a
also a part of
decent
the
skin, come
event,
on.
which we'll get to a little bit
Decent.
more. And it's a Khepri skin, so we haven't
Yes.
seen too
Yes.
much Khepri, and I have seen the card.
What? No way! What the
Khepri.
fudge?
So
Oh.
now I don't want us to go
It's
into
a
game
lobster?
yet. I'm a little bit worried. Is Khepri a cannibal? Like those are kebabs, right? But are
Nah.
they? Is there lobster on there?
Nah, those are like either chicken, like vegetables,
I don't know, man.
scallion.
Look at those
Yeah.
eyes. That's crazy. Those are crazy eyes.
Show me
No,
the
man,
lobster.
He is passionate about cooking.
Show me
brother.
the
He's
lobster.
passionate
PETA,
about
please.
pet barbecue.
Pet barbecue.
No, beach barbecue.
Pet, you said
What?
pet
No.
barbecue.
Why does he have a lobster bib on
Ignore
as a
that.
lobster?
All right, we're gonna take a look at him in game 2, and wow, this is actually kind of the outer shell has this really sick glowing.
What
effect. Is that
the
butter?
fuck?
Yeah. that
Oh
is,
my gosh, he has butter on him,
Yeah,
dude.
he's technically, I guess, already cooked. He has
Oh,
butter on him,
what
and I
the
think the material
fuck?
on this is awesome because it
I'm
really
gonna play
looks
Khepri
like
all
a lobster
day.
shell.
Yeah, it really does look
I don't
like
even
a
like
cooked
Khepri
lobster.
anymore.
And so you can
Like
see,
you tried to cook him, and then he like busted out in the middle of
Oh
boiling
my
Oh, man.
gosh, that skin is
There you go.
fucking awesome.
I mean, that's how he's still alive.
He
You
ult-
can't
he
tell
ulted
me
himself.
that skin is awesome.
Awesome.
Graphics wise, that is
There you
a
Oh, is that?
nasty
But wait,
skin.
oh,
What?
There's butter idle animation too.
Yeah.
He's throwing
Oh, he's like throwing
butter.
it between his hands.
Yep.
It's
And
really
then-
hard to like grab butter with claws, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
It's probably
Dude,
not
it should
ideal.
be
All right, let's
dripping
take a- let's
off.
take
That
a
would
look at
that would be
he's
epic if
also
it was
got a
like
chef
slowly
hat.
dripping off.
Yeah.
him.
And he's
That
also
skin
got
is
a,
nasty,
what is it,
dude.
Yeah, one of his claws, I believe, is rubber banded.
Oh, how do I get
Oh, is
this?
it? Oh, yeah, the right one.
Yep.
Oh man.
So let's
Poor
do
Khepri.
let's do a quick run through of the abilities.
I'm
Okay.
getting this
Let's do
skin.
the one. Just
Fuck
like a
yeah,
glow
dude.
effect on the claws. Okay.
What?
You can get a feel for the voice pack.
What's number 2? What do we got for 2?
The 2,
The water boy
Is there
fish.
fish in there?
There's
Yeah.
fishies.
Oh, it's all the fish he's grilling.
Oh my gosh.
Look at him. Look
Yep.
at him fall to the ground too. We are not like
We
an
can't talk about
animal.
any of these.
This
an
is
animal
so much
friendly-
better than what High Res usually
This
does.
is not an animal friendly patch.
Thank you,
Cooking
High
lobsters-
Res.
He has a lot of
Step your
water
game
effects.
up for a
Helps.
skin finally.
and then the ultimate is we can just kind of see what that looks like. There's a little.
Is that like a cutesy Khepri icon on the alt?
It's one of the 2 that we have.
Oh my.
Oh
All
my
right,
you
gosh,
will
that's
be able to
actually
get this
awesome.
one
I
as
want
well.
that.
Yourself.
I want that emblem.
Oh,
that
and you
emblem.
have it follow you.
Yep.
Somebody give me
What
that
are the
emblem.
glows. I can't see from my spot. What are the little things on the bottom?
It
the
looks
little
like
icons. Are those fish?
shellfish.
More fish?
I believe so.
Wait, is it
Khepri's
fish?
a cannibal.
Oh, it is little
So,
fishes.
so we didn't actually show this hitting anyone. So let's do that real quick.
Okay.
I eat lobster all the time.
Oh,
I'm
and there's
gonna use
like
this
a-
skin
kinda
all
like
day.
Water falling off of them. Okay.
Yep.
Little water droplets.
There's the 2.
Okay,
You can see the
that's
effect
pretty
on it.
good. Skin
Can
in
you
general
do
is
a
pretty
buff for the
fucking good.
allies too? Can you spawn an ally?
Yeah, I can.
ally
Let me
item?
just do that over here, just so I can separate them a bit.
Why do you need to separate them, Pog?
Don't worry about it.
Come on, man. All right, and
Yep.
all right, so just like water,
Like little
water,
water balls?
water traveling around him.
If
Awesome.
they have a
was
good
there any
Khepri
more?
skin, there better be some more
And
good
then,
shit.
Yeah, that's it. There we go. So we can
Awesome.
do the voice pack because you got a little bit of a flavor.
All right,
for
let's
it.
hear it. Oh, I get it flavor because he's a chef. I got it.
There you go. Nailed it.
Totally awesome, man. That was tubular. You're hardly even an appetizer. I ain't crabby. I'm a lobster. Watch it, pal. I'm salty.
You're
That
right.
is
And when the
skin.
crustacean was late to work, she
Oh
lobster
my
job.
gosh.
Oh gosh.
So bad.
Dude
Oh.
said I'm salty.
I no feeder.
This fucking
Well,
skin.
okay, I'm a bottom feeder, but I'll fight to win. Why don't lobsters share their food? Because they're shellfish.
This reminds me of
Just
Sebastian.
fucking
Yeah.
jokes,
The
bro.
mermaid.
It does. They jacked his voice from the Little Mermaid.
Oh god, that laugh animation.
Is that going to be the next spammable laugh?
Yeah, that's annoying as shit.
Sounds
like an evil laugh.
Sounds like
What the
an
fuck?
evil Khepri who's eating his brothers.
Get out of
Yeah,
here,
and there's
Donis. I
also
said
one
it
sound
first.
effect which I think is my favorite on here. Let's see if I can get to happen.
What are you trying to? What is it going to do?
It might not happen.
What? You have the Ymir voice.
Anything's better than running waterman.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
What is it though?
It's the best way I can describe it, and be on the lookout for this on PTS, is imagine an octopus trying to eat a ice cream cone.
No.
What?
Imagine what
No.
that noise would sound like,
Why?
and that's a noise he makes.
Why would I want to ever
Why
hear
does
that?
he make that noise?
All right,
How are you gonna
that's
make the
gonna be it
noise,
for,
Pon Pon?
skins, guys, but we have a
The
ton of other
balloon
changes
skin's pretty
coming
good.
forward
It's
here.
not as good as this.
So next up is going to be the Summer of Smite event.
Yep. So we'll have to pull out a game here so I can go to the Summer of Smite event. So I think we actually have a card art where we can do in the meantime.
Okay.
If you wanna
What
show that
card art
off.
are
Look
we
at
going to see?
Adonis.
Is it,
It's
we already saw Kepri.
it's pretty cool.
Is it it's Thor apparently. So we
Yes,
have an
it's Thor.
updated god card for Thor. I think it's heavy metal.
Yeah, it's a heavy metal skin. It's
All right,
an updated card
we're
for
gonna take a look at that.
It's really
okay.
neat.
Oh wow, he's actually more metal. They actually just made him more metal.
They changed metal
Yeah,
Thor.
He looks
Oh, they just
very,
changed
very
the
badass. there.
card. Okay.
Look at his biceps. Those aren't even possible.
Pretty.
Like that's not even possible.
Well, like, you know how much he
decent,
chunks you
I
when he hits
guess?
you
I
with like
don't
a
really
hammer?
care for
Yeah.
card
Like
art.
that
I mean, it
thunk,
looks
has-
cool,
the
but
power comes from
card art.
somewhere.
It's like his passive is like built into his arm. So we're just like, all right, we gotta like. So if we ever nerf the passive, like his biceps just get smaller or something.
Yep.
All right, guys, but the last two skins we
Those
saw,
are
the Kepri
changes.
and the Bologna, are
Changes.
actually in our latest event, the Summer of Smite event. We're going to take a look at that in game here, and it's going to be this multi-week event. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so if you remember last year's Summer of Smite, it was this kind of event where you bought a whole bunch of stuff, and then every time you got a few things, you got a collection bonus. And
Shark.
every time you also bought something, you got a
Full
chest that you could roll.
party,
Well, we're bringing that back this year, and
Olympian
we have a lot of really cool stuff. As you see, the first thing we have is the Rocket Bologna, and then Chef Special.
Uh-huh.
And so Rocket Bologna is going to come out first, and then the next week after that, Chef Special will come out, and then you'll be able to get your first bonus, which is the Tropical Paradise loading frame.
Are there palm trees on it?
I believe there's palm trees
Yes.
on it. So you get that. and
Adonis
then-
has
Is it
the
that palm
dumbest
tree?
questions, bro.
Right there?
I don't think it's that palm.
Hey, why is it
Oh
not? That
my
one looks
gosh.
great.
That one looks really good. Actually, I
All
think
art
they did
is
a really
not
good job
final.
with this.
Patch
Yeah,
is subject
and this
to
isn't final
change.
either. I think there are some
Yeah,
more changes
on
to this.
BTS, you might not see it look like this.
Okay, so this is
Um,
the final version, though?
I think this is getting closer to it, yeah.
Okay, so there's still probably some work to do. What else can you spoil for me, Paul?
Well, you can see some names there, and I'll let you guys try and figure out what that is.
Let me see. Okay, land shark.
Bloated
Oh, is that
corn?
is that from the Bologna, the tattoo too? Land shark?
Maybe.
Maybe. What?
Yeah, what's an F dot?
These all better be
where's that one?
skins,
At the
bro.
F dot announcer pack. Oh man, what is
Not
that?
an F dot announcer pack.
But as
What
you can
is that?
see, there's a
F
lot
dot
to unlock
announcer
here. We have
pack.
a lot. We have a lot coming out.
I wanna
and
know
it's
what
gonna be
the other
happening
skins
every
are.
single week. You're gonna have new content to be able to get for probably. I
Show
think
me
the
the
next 2
skins,
months.
Pon.
Okay.
So
And
once this is
The
live,
skins.
that's what's happening.
just on behalf of F dot, you're not supposed to spell the dot. I don't know if anyone told you.
That's fine.
He's gonna rage. He's
That's
gonna
fine.
baby rage so hard.
It's okay.
So that's gonna be it for all the fun goodies. Now we have one
Changes.
more thing though. We have a community
Changes.
outcry. They had been asking for this for a while. We're going to show it in game here shortly, but I'm just going to read it off before we get in. So the item store layout for starter items now matches our previous updates to relics and consumables. So
Oh,
there's going to
they-
be like that grid system.
They made the
Yeah,
grid
so
system
if you
for
saw some of our
starters.
previous
Cool.
patches, we actually
Woo!
had the update to where you could actually see all the things together in one little panel. That is now how that's going to be for the start items. So if you're a physical, you'll see all your physical ones in the same place. If you're magical, you'll see all the magical ones in the same place.
So this
Great.
is something that people have been asking about forever. Are we going to be able to see it in game? Or are you still logging in?
I have to fix an issue, and so we probably will not see it in game.
All right, we're gonna get that in a second. But
I
really don't care about
one more
seeing it in
miscellaneous
game.
change
on,
was
Adonis.
the updated
Good
UI
shit.
elements to make it more clear when you are in auto skill and auto buy modes. And this was specifically for DJ Perticus. For those who don't know, at DreamHack, it's actually not, but DJ Perticus at DreamHack left his auto buy and auto skill on, and we had to remake a game and delay the tournament like 10 minutes because of that.
That's like the worst feeling. Is
That's
having to remake a
happened
game for
so
something
many
like that.
Come on.
times.
So,
Come on,
so we've
DJ.
added.
Adonis
we've added
acting like that only happened to DJ. That's
so yeah,
happened like
what's
40
gonna,
times.
show exactly?
Yeah, so basically when you get into game and you load up your item screen, you're actually or you load up your skills, you're going to see much brighter text. You're going to see much more of a notification that you're on auto buy, auto skill.
It's
It'll
basic.
also highlight how to turn it off, what it is, stuff like that.
All right, so a little bit of help for the new
Took 'em
players
4
there
years,
as they
but
learn the
I'll
game.
take it.
And that's going to be it for kind of the normal patch cycle here. Now we have the 3.5 mid-season update. I think we're going to take a look at the starter items real quick first, though.
Yeah, I'm going
We're
to try
gonna
and get
that.
into game and see if we can actually show that first, but I think we can start transitioning into the next part
Yeah,
of this.
it's a community win I think you guys are going to be happy about. But next up, guys, is the true mid-season changes.
Yes.
Like Pon said,
Let's
here we have
go.
a ton of balance changes to relics items,
team.
gods.
OMG.
They expect to see some significant meta shifts, and they're going to be evaluating that over the next coming weeks here. And we're also going to be bringing on a special guest
Gonna
to
remove
talk
the
about it
jungle
here.
secretly.
Joining myself and Pon is going to be Hi-Res Ajax. How you doing?
Doing great.
Ajax?
Happy to be here.
Wait, I know
You
Ajax
excited?
is.
So
very excited.
Show me him.
What was
I
kind
know
of the
who he is.
overall goal for this
not,
mid-season
that works.
update?
So we really wanted to create a pretty significant meta shift here in the middle of the season, try to refresh everything, give it a real new feel. Not as big as a brand new season, but with still a lot of big changes. Mostly focusing around balancing, relics, and items.
New
Okay,
items,
and
please.
the first thing we're going to be talking
They're not
about
gonna
is
touch speed.
relics. So
Here we
this
go,
is probably
relics.
seeing the most significant change when you look at kind of the percentages that we changed. We have 2 new relics as well
I know
as
that guy.
a plethora of others kind of adjusted to bring them more in line, right?
Oh yeah, the most changes to relics since the beginning of Season 3. Lots of changes.
Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's get in a game. We're
Yeah,
going to
let's
talk
take a
about
look.
the first relic here, and it is a little bit of a throwback here. Thorns. Using this item reflects 40% of all damage you take before mitigations for the next 5 seconds, back to its owner as magical damage. So what's up with this one?
Right, so a lot of people's
Wait,
favorite
what?
old relic is used to be an active item. It is back now in the form of a relic.
It's
It
literally
used to
the
be called
same
Shield of the
thing.
Underworld. Now we're calling it Thorns. Keep in mind
same
these
thing.
icons here are not final yet. You'll be able to see those final icons soon in the patch notes.
He just brought back
But,
Shield of the
yeah,
Underworld.
Shield is back in the form of Thorns. You can reflect your damage back at enemies. Going to have all sorts of interesting applications. One major change between it is that now you can still be stolen from while you're activating Thorns. So Thorns originally felt like there really wasn't too much counterplay going on. Once it was active, you kind of had to disengage. Now, if you're a heavy lifestealing character, Freya, or you're building something
Oh,
like
it
that
did
on Hunters,
cancel
you can
lifesteal
continue to try
before.
to DPS
Okay,
through the
so it's
Thorns.
not an
And,
anti-lifesteal
you can
item
see
anymore.
kinda, Shield of the Underworld, sometimes it was kind
It
of hard to
looks
see.
better,
you can
dude.
really see when Thorns
It looks
is active.
so
Yes,
much better
this
than
is
it did
the
before.
effect that was
That's awesome.
being heavily iterated on towards the end of Shield's
not gonna be
lifetime.
super
Now
strong.
it's this
It'll be
really bright,
decent
glowing
for
purple thorns,
tanky
and you get that
targets.
reflecting Nemesis shield kind of lightning bolts that come back at you when it triggers.
Also, the cooldown is 120 seconds as well. So it's not going to be up all the time that I think people's original frustration stemmed from.
So with the community, we actually saw a lot of people on our feedback forums. They are having struggles with Thorns. It was locking them out of doing a lot of things. You couldn't really feel like you could itemize against it or react to it really well. And so the
What about
effect of
Shield of the
actually
Underworld?
reflecting damage is very, very potent. But if you build life stuff, you build sustain, we want to also reward you for choosing to go that path to try and counter it a little bit.
What the fuck?
So it's easier to deal with, it's easier to see, but it still has a very powerful effect, and we're excited to see how people use it.
So
gonna be
Thorns going to be the new
decent.
relic in the game. There's one other
Decent.
new relic we're seeing.
Not amazing, decent.
Similar to Thorns, this is something that's kind of been in Smite before, but it's going to be a reimagined new relic, and it's going to be called Phantom. So using this item
it's the
allows you to
Ghost
pass
Walk.
through players and
Ghost
player-made
Walk.
objects for 5 seconds, as well as minions. That's not listed there.
Okay, that's
It
not
also
as
grants
exciting as I
100%
thought it was gonna
reduction
be,
to
dude.
basic attack movement penalty for the duration, 140 seconds. So
It's
AJ,
Fatalis
this is kind of like
with
Ghost Walk
walk-through
from
people.
Spectral Armor, but it's been reimagined.
Right, so we brought that over to a relic.
the
We found
fuck
that
is
as
gonna
far as
use that?
Spectral Armor, you had to build really strange builds for most classes that wanted to use that type of effect, and then you needed to activate another
So that means they had to
relic in
change
conjunction with
Spectral
it. So
Armor
that was
because
making it a
Spectral
little bit
Armor
too
will be
complicated.
worthless.
We really liked this effect, though, wanted to make it a lot more accessible and usable. So here we have it as its own standalone relic, the Phantom
It
relic.
doesn't even counter Odin's ult. It's
So
on
you can use
140
this
second
whenever you get
cooldown,
in a tight
bros.
spot trapped by Odin, Ymir, Thor, or even just some of the bulkier characters like Kepri's big model. And then you got the added effect. We really wanted Phantom to do something besides just walk through people.
Which is Fatalis.
We experimented with a couple things, and the most exciting thing was this aggressive auto attack, full speed auto attacks here.
Okay.
So you can activate this.
It's going to
aggressively
do
as a
really
hunter,
well
assassin,
against Odin
warrior,
for
and just
one or
really stick
two,
to
one
you.
ult,
Can
but
you,
then if they
switch to
ult
100, maybe
properly, it's
see
on a
that
short
in effect
cooldown.
as well.
They'll just
And,
capture you again.
and this
Kind of
can
like a
still be
beads. I guess
paired
it's still
with, like,
good.
So I know there
But
was, the
I think I'd
season
rather
one,
have
the gas
Aegis.
pedal, right? The sprint that was so powerful. However, you can still do that.
In
but
my
you
head,
have
I'm
to
trying to think of
synergize
who
your
would use the
relics.
Fatalis
I mean,
effect.
this is a major theme with
Over
a lot
just
of
getting
our updated
Fatalis.
relics. We
Nobody.
wanted to have strong plays, but then still be counterable. Old sprint, really low cooldown, really fast speed, way too strong in the gas pedal. New Phantom has much more unique applications, and you're going to need your support to help coordinate you with the sprint because you're not going to get any bonus speed unless you use something else with it. And you're still going to be able to
Fatalis
secure kills,
effect.
though, by running right through
Fuck.
people, just firing.
And Pon, a lot of people are saying rip Odin, but it's kind of a 140-second cooldown. Is that?
Yeah, it's a really long
it's
cooldown.
not a rip
and
Odin at
because it has
all.
these kind of dual effects, you're not going to always be able to use it to counter something that like.
But you
a
could get
wall or,
Aegis
like,
and
a wall
that
blocks you
as a
off.
mage, like a Poseidon or
And the other
something,
nice thing about it is,
and you're never
it
gonna
doesn't
get
have the movement
caught,
speed that it
really.
did before when it had this
Because you can
effect,
just
right?
Aegis all the
It used to
damage.
have this used to be
So it
kind of
is
gas
pretty
pedal
good.
with the sprint.
I take it
This
back.
sprint had
It's
a
pretty
way
good.
lower cooldown, and
I don't
it
think it's
also
gonna be
had a
used on
movement
everybody.
speed component to it. This one, especially with a longer cooldown and the removal of the movement speed component, really highlights the fact that it's just
It on
a
Poseidon
basic
with the
attack.
auto attack of Poseidon could be interesting.
Okay.
Against an
and
Odin.
now
Other than
let's
that, I don't really
talk
know.
a little bit about the changes to the relics.
Weird.
So we have a good number of changes to the existing relics. First up is Blink. So Pawn, time out of combat before Blink has been reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. So if you're being chased, you can kind of have that extra counter.
That's huge.
Yeah, so Blink overall, it
That's
fits really well
awesome.
with this aggressive kind of blinking effect that you have. If you're like Ymir, you can blink and
That
freeze
is
people.
awesome,
If you're
dude.
like one of the kind of really tanky supports that have like a giant AoE ultimate, you can blink and use it really effectively. But we wanted to kind of highlight a strength that's not really used much because it's such a long time to get out of combat. By making it so that,
Holy
like,
shit,
for
they
example,
moved it
Ymir
back.
wall and you get some distance between you. You might
That's
actually
actually
get
really
distance
good
between you,
for
you're not gonna be able
a
to
lot of
trigger
times I want to
it,
engage or
you
get the
don't
fuck
think you're gonna
out,
be able
and
to
I
blink
don't
it.
get out by like
And
1
we just kind
second.
of want to highlight that strength and make it something that can happen. And
So,
at 3
yeah.
seconds, it can.
So
I like the
aggressive
change,
onto
but I
players,
bet you it
like,
doesn't
this
stay.
isn't changed at all. You're still
People
gonna
will
have
cry
before
because it's
you
going to
get
be
in the fight,
better
but
than... That's
you
like a
do have
big
that
change,
extra option to
actually,
escape
in my
now.
opinion.
Especially because in Season 3, Blink, got a much longer cooldown. It's available for free, but the longer cooldown made it a little bit less favored by a lot of the supports, a little bit harder to use. So now we want to make sure that when you do make those Blinks, they really count and you really make able to make big plays with them. So the reduction on the time should allow that.
And to Hindu in chat, you've been eliminated. I see you. You're
Hindu's in
dealing
chat.
with Brexit, and you know what? 4th
Hey,
of July is coming up.
we
We
got
got to
this, Hindu.
Americanize the patch notes,
Yeah,
the
it's
mid-season update.
fine. We
Hindu,
got
don't
this.
Enjoy
worry,
your
you're fine.
vacation, Hindu.
What are they talking about?
So
Oh, 'cause
curse
Hindu's
here,
not
this is
there?
something that people have been asking for a change to
Uh-oh.
quite often here. The healing
Oh!
reduction now has been
Healers
increased
might come
from
back.
65
A
to
little bit.
50%.
Not exactly a lot.
Right,
Maybe
so
a little bit.
Curse we really like. It's slowing application. It's used in conjunction with big team fight engagements all the time, which is really fun. But
Hell come back,
it was
boys.
Really, it was a bit too strong as far as shutting down healers. They've all dropped out of favor recently. So now, with the less healing reduction, you should be able to still heal through a curse, although you might still be getting...
The brawlers and the divines.
yeah, you might still be getting stacking effects on you. You might still be slowed, so you could be in trouble, but
That's-
at least you'll be able to heal.
I
Now, a
hope
little bit of
healers come
spoilers.
back.
I did read through the
healers.
patch notes
Oh, yeah.
before this. There are going to be some more fun times if you are a healer. So the curse is just kind of the
Yes,
start of it.
healers
The
are
next
going to be
change,
back. Oh my
once
gosh,
again,
that's so
hitting
exciting,
kind of
dude.
one of those team fighting relics. It's Frenzy. This
Frenzy
is simple.
sucks.
Now it just applies a
20%
20%
attack
attack
speed.
speed increase for the duration as well.
Yeah, so
That'd be good for
Frenzy
burning
kinda got its new
objectives.
identity as this team fight. It's kind of the mirror to Shell.
Yeah,
where
the
Shell,
opposite.
Yeah, so you have Sprint Curse, you have Shell Frenzy, and Frenzy just didn't feel potent enough. And so with the
It's
attack
not.
speed
Frenzy
increase,
sucks.
it'll make it a
It's
lot
gonna
more
be
effective
decent.
at actually killing towers, killing objectives, turning team fights. But the other nice thing about attack speed is you really feel it when you activate it. So you're gonna really feel that you've activated this Frenzy. You're gonna feel the power much more than you did before. And I think that'll make this active a lot more desirable.
Yeah, it kind of felt a little bit lackluster, especially in comparison to a Shell where it's almost negated out and still more beneficial. So maybe some more options for team fights there. Now,
Rip
a little bit of
Fafnir?
love to the supports
no.
as kind of their team fighting relics were getting hit is scout changes. This is something that we saw some players
No, not
experiment
wards.
with, but it kind
Please.
of fell out of favor as Season 3 progressed. So now, revealing enemy
What?
wards with scout causes you to gain 25 gold per ward revealed. Also, the cooldown has been reduced from 140 seconds to
What?
120 seconds. So a lot of love for kind of those people who
25 gold.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of great relics. It's been a tough call for supports at their level 1 choice. We wanted to make Scout
What?
a little bit more of an attractive option. Here we have
That's just
the reduced
revealed
cooldown
too, you don't even
more
have to kill
sentry
it.
wards, which are really powerful in the early game since people are generally buying the regular wards. And we have a actual definitive gain for counter warding. If you can correctly predict where your enemies are warding and reveal them with your scout ward, you're going to be getting a bunch of extra money always.
I don't-
always as a
So,
support.
so now
That's
you don't
so
have
weird.
to buy the sentry wards necessarily.
So
You
many
can
people are going to
just
test
get the
it
relic
and say
you
it's
get
so
50 for
good.
countering it, although your
I'm
teammates
not
can counter
sold.
as well, and you get the guaranteed
not sold that
25
that's gonna
gold.
be a normal
up to
active for
75
supports.
potential gold for every
Yep.
ward countered. And something to note too is that this is an increase. People can only place 2 wards still.
What?
Right,
Yeah.
that's true.
So overwarding isn't really going to be a huge
It should
problem.
allow you to have an extra ward.
After that,
That
we
would be pretty
have
cool.
a little bit of a change to sprint.
Yeah.
So bringing this a
No.
little bit more in line with Curse, I'd say the duration has been reduced from 6
Yeah,
to 5
that's
seconds.
okay. I like these
and the
changes.
cooldown increased to 150 seconds.
Yeah, so one of
Good
the big things we got in
fucking
community feedback
change,
was
bro.
that Sprint was a little bit too potent, and so we just made sure that it now mirrors Curse in its duration and in its cooldown, and that it comes up less often, it lasts for a little bit less in duration, and that should hopefully bring it to a place where we want it. We'll watch it
It's on
still,
a-
but
that's a
this is
good
different.
change.
It's still a very powerful relic.
It's not
It's still
rip
very powerful.
sprint.
Yeah, I think
It's still good. It's
everyone-
just
it's
not
very
as
popular to say
annoying.
that.
Yeah.
Now,
That's a good
a
change.
little bit of a change. This is kind of a flavor item.
Oh, yeah.
Sunder has received a
Oh,
buff.
Sunder!
I know there's a couple
I-
pro players out there who are loving this.
Yeah,
but
give me some
we
Sunder.
weren't really see. I guess I'll let you explain the change a little bit more. But the protection shred has been increased from 25% to 30%, and it also now applies a 30%
speed
attack
reduction.
speed reduction to the Sunder target.
That makes it more like a 1v1. It's gonna be so good in freaking duel, dude.
So with that attack speed adjustment as well, now if you hit an enemy hunter or assassin, it could be a good target.
That's gonna be
with it,
really
not just
good in
enemy
duel.
tanks for the protection shreds. It's gonna really give you the ability to turn the tables, especially 1v1 versus almost any god. As long as you land that skill shot, Sunder.
Imagine Sunder and Shield of the Underworld combined on a tank versus a hunter.
Basically, it's
G
the skill shot
G.
component for a 30% shred and a 30% attack speed reduction. That's a really
Sunder him first.
And so
I
I
get
think
low.
that's pretty
Fucking
justified.
Shield the Underworld. They're still
Moving on,
attacking you.
Teleport
GG.
has received changes as well, a little bit of a nerf to it. Increased channel time from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Pawn, what
That's
are
so
your thoughts on that?
minimal.
What are the reasonings behind that?
So
What?
teleport's kind of
Doesn't
been
make
this active
sense.
that a lot of solo laners pick up so that they can get back to lane quickly and try and establish dominance, and then it transitions into this late game ability to rotate around the map really, really quickly. And so we kind of like the fact that people sacrifice their early powerful relic like a sprint or a curse to get something that helps them get a little bit more farm. But the quickness that people could rotate around the map and the lack of being able to counter it, like you could hear it happening and you couldn't get to the ward in time and stop it, even if it was really close to you. We just lengthened that by a second so that teams are more likely going to be able to actually stop if someone just tries to do kind of a lazy teleport in. You have to be a lot more tactical about it now.
You can also stun people outside of teleport, which not a lot of
Yeah,
people
that
know. So
too.
there's
Right.
kind of that extra time where they can be countered out.
Yeah,
And
it's
this is
harder
the
to
main
escape.
thing we wanted to do with this change. Is teleport's really strong and it's really fun, but we didn't see very much counter teleporting. We didn't see many wards
That
getting killed and people
change
getting stunned out of it.
To teleport
we should
does
see that a little bit
nothing.
more often now.
It
and
might
that's
get you
gonna
killed if
reward
you try to
players who are really
teleport out of a
interested
fight
and
now.
skilled.
And I did talk
But
to you
that's
guys.
it.
You said you experimented with other times, but 4 seconds kind of felt the best.
You will feel the 1 second.
Yeah.
It's
Obviously,
it's
it's been a
25%
year
much,
of
but
regular teleport.
You'll feel it.
Yeah, if you want to hop into game,
It's not
actually have it so you
game-breaking,
can see
though.
the new
It's not
time
like a
actually
meta
and
change.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's do that. We're going to hop in a game real quick and kind of see
Solo
the
laners
new
will
time
still
on
build teleport.
We'll do that here shortly, guys.
One
And
extra second.
this is something that people really, really do feel.
Yeah, definitely. And this
So-
is something we've heard from the community a lot.
And here we go.
There we go.
Oh, you
Yep.
feel that for
It
sure.
just feels like it lags a little bit.
Holds there.
Definitely more counters to that. And then
More
finally,
counters? What?
we've seen kind of all these one final
Okay.
relic change. We've seen,
Okay, I'm
I would
done, I'm
say, a lot
I'm
of
done,
relics
bros.
that are
Game
buffed or
changing.
nerfed to kind of benefit different classes.
Hi.
Done.
This
Shut
one,
up, Cheapsteak.
this one I think is the
I'm gonna turn
biggest
off
change
alerts.
after looking
Yeah,
through it.
yeah.
I think we could see a massive shift.
Yeah.
Wrath has received a buff, but also some
Oh.
changes to compensate as well and kind of bring it a little bit more in line.
Oh!
So, Wrath. now
Oh, no.
stuns
Wait, it's on a
nearby
90-second
enemy gods
cooldown.
for 1 second. So Fist of the Gods component has
They
been
brought
worked into it.
Fist of the Gods
The
back.
increase to the jungle bosses, so
What?
Gold Fury and Fire Giant, is now
Still not gonna be that
1250,
good.
so a 250 buff. And then the cooldown to compensate kind of for those changes has been increased from 60 to 90 seconds. Pawn, what?
You can't build
what are we
hogs
doing
still.
here?
So this
Doesn't
actually
make
might
any
be one of my
sense.
favorite changes. I've been messing around with it in playtest a lot, and I think the big thing is
You've
it's
been
very potent as
playtesting
this
people who
kind of
aren't good
really
at the
helpful clear
game.
tool for a lot of junglers who have a harder time.
No,
juggling.
you
It's
have
hard
to have
pick up to
beads
augment some clear
if they have
things
any
too.
lockdown, dude.
And then it kind of transitioned to this ability
Oh
to
my
help
gosh.
assassins that have hard times against certain matchups. So if I'm placing a Thor and I'm like Bots and I don't want to blow an ultimate to stop the Thor
You
spin,
need
I now have
beads.
Fist, so like I become a lot better against that character.
Right.
Or
And I
you
think the
die
big
to
thing
beads.
is it's very rewarding to interrupt things. It's very rewarding to get the stun, and it allows the jungler pool to kind of really increase because a lot of people can make
No!
use of the stun.
Do we see
No!
potential meta shift with this one? Because this is not a small
be.
change.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's not just the stun, but it's also the potential for like the Gold Fury and Fire Giants.
We've
too.
been using it a
No!
lot in internal playtesting. It's been strong
Yeah.
and been popular.
So
You
for
can't
junglers, I
get
think
the
they're
stun
the
early
strongest
against
thing.
any
Do you wanna
good
get something
team.
like Sprint or Curse
Khepri
to
will
be
kill you.
or do
Athena
want
will
the
kill you.
Fist to help you clear
Poseidon will
damage
kill
to
you.
wait? For support,
Again,
it's pretty similar. Do you want the sentry? Do
Everything
you
with
want
any kind
the
of
Wild
control will
Rider?
kill you because you don't
Do
get beads to
want
level
the
12.
I think there's a lot of
Hog
choices to be made, and there's a
on
lot
a
of
longer
changes here
cooldown
that
with a
bring
stun
lot
does
of
not make it a
different
good level
pretty
1
dominant
active.
role.
So, I mean, just
No.
the relics is going to shift
No.
probably a lot of the favored gods here.
Yeah.
That's going to be it for the relics, and honestly, we could
Relic
probably
changes
end it
were
there and
very
all right,
subpar.
mid-season, that's
Disappointed.
a pretty big shift. But we're not done.
Oh no,
Disappointed.
No.
much more.
We're not done.
We're like
just
Go to
getting
the
started.
Underworld's
Like
going to be the
third of the
biggest
league.
new.
Yeah, are we?
new,
We are on
gosh.
page 4 of 11. So
Yeah.
third was wrong. It's like
I
just under.
mean, skin.
if there was 12 pages, let me add an extra
He
page.
means we got items and gods still.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Show
fair
me
enough.
items.
That's
Items
true.
and gods
There we
That's
coming
true.
out still.
So items are up next here, and I think this the first one we're going to go over is probably the perfect one to showcase.
Yep.
Because this also synergizes really well with the relic changes. So. New item, Ritual Dagger, and this is going
Watch
off
it give
of
you
kind of
beads.
the Winged Blade, Witch Blade
Wait,
tree.
what?
18
Cooldown's
physical,
back.
200 health,
CDR's
10
back.
CDR, 20 attack speed,
It's
10
Wing
movement
Blade.
speed. But the passive is what I'm looking at. Whenever you use a relic, the duration of that relic's effects are increased by 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So like, what does beads do then?
Very interesting here. So you're going to
You
get
think
longer
you CC
sprints,
immune for
longer curses, even a longer sanctuary, which is going to
That's
take
actually going to be a sub item. That's going to be the best item in the game.
A lot of interesting
for any
applications.
hunter, I feel like any.
1.5
That's
seconds
so
stun, too.
good.
We're just like, everyone's like, oh man, a
yeah.
second stun on Wrath. Well, now it's 1.5 if you get this item too. How does it work with teleport? Any changes?
Teleport does not change the
No
channel
changes?
time. This is only, effects
This
that
would
are
be
placed
so-
on players' buffs,
Yeah, that'd
crowd
be a
control,
good,
debuffs, things
dude.
like
That'd be a
that.
nerf anyway.
So,
if it was
yeah,
like,
it's not gonna. It's
now
not
you're
gonna make your
channeling
teleport
longer.
You get
channel
Shield of the
longer.
Underworld for what, 6 seconds with that up?
How do
Oh
we
my
feel about the
gosh.
stats? Because this is very similar to old Wing Blade.
Does
before
Meditate
when it
heal
had
for more?
cooldown reduction. Now it just has a different passive.
So
Well,
we get to another
Meditate
change
heal
in a
for
minute,
another
but the Adventurer's
50%?
Blade has been
That's gonna
reworked
be so
a little bit
good.
to fit in this new slot.
Oh
on,
my
on
gosh.
Ritual Dagger.
Okay.
It's got generally less stats than Wingblade. It's got less health.
Less health. I think that's the big one.
But it does have the cooldown reduction instead of the crowd control reduction, which is really nice for lots
is
of
awesome.
classes. We really wanted to make this item
That's a new
available
jungle
to
item,
lots of different
100%.
gods.
Yeah, you could probably see this
100%.
in multiple things, and maybe even the Phantom, right? So you get
Yeah.
longer gas pedal.
Longer
I don't
Phantom,
know if
yeah.
hunters are
Do you
gonna pick that
stun
up, but
longer with the
you
new
never know.
hog
You
stun?
could go Ritual Dagger, Sprint, Phantom.
You stun for
Just go all in,
2.2 seconds
hunter.
So
or whatever?
that's one of the
Or
two
was it
new
1
items
second
we've
stun?
added.
So it'd be
Second
1.5
item
seconds?
is going to be Emperor's Armor. So this is actually something we've had in Smite before, old Guan Yu passive, where if you were inside a tower, you got kind of that protection increase.
Long time ago and quite different, but
What?
This time, so 2,200 gold,
It's a
250
tower
30
killing
physical protection.
thing.
But the passive is an aura where your towers that you're in range
Increased
of now are going
towers?
to
What?
have their attack speed increased, and if you're in an
That's so
opponent's
weird.
tower, that attack speed tower, the tower's attack speed is decreased.
So your tower will
so this
defend
fits
you?
right into the mail tree. It's got health and
tower
physical protection
defense?
to go with the other items, Mystical Mail, Sovereignty, and Midgardian. But it brings a very unique passive. We wanted to do things with towers for a while, but we're just kind of struggling to find their home. Gods didn't make
This
as
is
much
fucking
sense
tower
because
defense,
what if
bro?
you played a game mode where it didn't really work out for that god? Then people
Wait, it's
wouldn't play
allied
them. So
structures?
on an item here,
Will
we've
this
got
work
it.
on
You can
Vulcan
buy this
turret?
in all of the modes except Arena. It's actually going to be
'cause it doesn't
limited
have a
out of
structure.
Arena because
Okay.
it won't actually do anything.
Does this work
with
on
the passive in
Vulcan
Arena.
turret, bro?
So we're bringing this in, new way to interact with towers, and it's important to mention it's the attack speed of the towers that's increasing,
Not their
decreasing,
protections
not
or-
the
Is it
protections.
Is it only
Okay.
towers
No,
or is
we
it?
We tried
built
some items
structures?
that would give your towers protections, and it really just stalemated things.
I need to know if this
Wasn't
worked on
so
Vulcan
fun.
turret.
But when you walk into your own tower, and your
Imagine
tower
a
is just
tanky
shooting
Vulcan
faster
whose
at the
turret
enemies,
beats your ass.
helping you to repel their defenses by killing them is a lot more fun than just be like,
If it
oh, no,
works
you
on
can attack
Vulcan.
this.
Can we show this in game or no? Like
Yes, we
set up
can.
an
Yeah, there's a
aimbot
visual
in the game.
Effect that shows when the tower is afflicted by.
Show
by
me it on
Emperor's
Vulcan.
Armor or
Alright,
buffed by Emperor's
And
Armor.
are the icons
Vulcan.
final before we show
yeah,
this
this
off
is
as well?
again in game. This is a placeholder icon. The icons on the patch notes are the completed icon.
the
That nice.
shit?
It looks like a Roman emperor.
Okay, but show me
Someone
Vulcan.
who would be
Okay.
skilled in the.
If it doesn't work on
you drop-
Vulcan,
can you?
I'm gonna
just
be really
slide the code
disappointed
bot?
because this
Like, I
item's
think
not gonna be
people,
that
just
amazing
kind of
unless
go
you're
from
running
memory on what the
a
attack speed
freaking
of
tower
the
killing
normal is.
comp,
It will die
like
a
a
lot.
push
Well,
comp.
it's fine. Just let it die.
No,
It doesn't
it'll be
happen
stuck
in
there and
Smite.
just be dying. Here,
That's
you can show
fine.
it attack the minions though.
So you can see
Oh, yeah.
those
Yeah.
two
That's
shots are
definitely
way
faster.
faster.
And you can walk into the enemy one as well. You'll see the opposite color effect by an enemy, the red.
Okay,
Oh
so there is
my
a clear
gosh.
visual as well.
That
for
attack
players that are
speed
like,
is
so they're not
slow
just
as
like,
shit.
why is this tower attacking faster? Or
Right.
why is my
You'll
tower
see the
attacking
red
slower?
down spiral on any towers that are.
I want to know if it works
weakened,
on
and you'll see
Vulcan.
the blue up spiral for any towers that are buffed.
Oh man, Scotty's gonna like. I don't know if you intended this, but the Scotty tower taking is gonna be pretty real here.
Yeah, we're not sure if split pushers would really want to invest in a really defensive item
They
that
won't.
may or may not help them
There's
push
no
very
way.
well.
Have you
but
seen this more for people trying to, attack towers and dive, or maybe for those that are
Nobody's
kind of
been
trying to
building this
stalemate
item.
a
There's
game?
no way.
In most of our tests, this has worked out better for the support that's slightly ahead. You get a little bit ahead of the enemy team. You buy this item, and you
So it's a
really help
snowball
yourself
item.
capitalize those next couple tower pushes.
It's literally a push
do
comp
anything with
snowball
Vulcan
item.
Vulcan turret.
Super
does not
turret?
If
actually
you
Come
can
on,
group
man.
up early as
You gotta
5
give
with your
Vulcan
support
some
having
love.
this and take
gotta
towers,
give him
it'd be
some
pretty sick.
love. Oh, spoiler.
We'll get there.
You gotta wait.
Yes.
Vulcan's getting some love.
He's gonna get some. Soon enough.
So talk to me. I see chat asking as well. What about stacking it? Is it gonna, are there multiple?
So the
having it
stacking
gonna
rules with
reduce
Emperor's
more?
Armor is that each structure can only
Stacked?
have one buff and debuff.
Oh,
in it.
okay.
So at most you can have
Shit.
2 players on each team, both counteracting each other. So it can be countered by buying one of your own if you're both in range. It doesn't matter if one team has more copies of the armor than the other team. It's
not
always
work
gonna
on
just
Vulcan
apply
turret.
one
That
instance of the buff
makes
or
it
debuff to each tower.
shit.
So if two players have it, one on one team, one on the other, it's just going to completely negate each
Right,
other, and the
right.
tower.
It's literally
what
going to
is
be
the tower
early
effect?
grouping
Is there
pushing
gonna be
towers.
no effect on the
The
tower?
support will get it on a team comp that wants to group
Okay.
at like
Okay.
5 minutes and
It'll
try
be
to take
multiple
towers.
Multiple people on my team all have Emperor's armor. We would not be benefiting from being in the same tower. We'd want to split.
Okay. And that's going to be it
Multiple
for the
people
new
won't have
item.
that
So maybe some interesting shifts with that.
What?
Oh, yeah.
That's
we have a
it
slight
for
change
new
to
items?
Adventurer's Blade. You kind of mentioned it already.
Yep.
For Ritual Dagger. So
What the
now
fuck?
Adventurer's Blade, there's no more crowd control
Please.
reduction on it. And the movement speed has been increased from 7% to 10%. So honestly, maybe even that tier 2 might be worth picking up more.
More movement speed, no
So
more
3%
crowd
extra
control
on it,
reduction.
so maybe you'll find
Okay.
some uses in that. Moving on, we have.
I bet you they got
some
rid
more
of crowd
changes.
control
It's not
reduction.
just the new items.
I
There's
hope
actually
not.
lots of exciting
There's
things.
so much.
This might as well be a new item, right?
Right. Onsile has been reimagined. I think we had some multiple changes to it trying to find its place.
Oh, yeah.
Magical protection has been increased from 40 to 60, but this new passive is very kind of like an anti-mage where when you take magical damage from an enemy
silence?
ability, you unleash a shockwave that silences all enemies within a range of 20 units for 1 second.
Right.
Effect cannot
What?
trigger more than 6.
Silence?
What's
What
this
the
symbol?
shit?
So it's. I guess it's kind
No
of use
more
case is
items.
this
We are
anti-mage thing where you wanna try and- it's kinda similar to Magi's, right, where
DISSAPPOINTED.
Magi's allows you
Have
to
my love and
kind of position yourself really
$5
well until you
instead.
opt out. This is really similar,
you,
except
Abby.
it really, really benefits those characters who can jump on the back line.
Right.
Your Odins who can
What,
jump over
dude?
a wall and surprise an enemy without getting hit by a magical spell, or your Lokis who can stealth and jump on someone.
I don't
without
think that's
getting
going to
hit
be
by a magical
broken,
spell.
but that's going to be
I think the big thing
annoying.
for this item, right, is that it was a very powerful. The goal of it was to
Yeah,
be this
imagine
kind of
that on
utility for
Assassins.
physical characters, and we had this offensive passive on it before, and now with a little bit more magical protection and with something that's actually
it still
used
give you
defensively
power?
when you jump on someone to silence them and stop them from attacking
If it
you,
still gives
it's very
power,
potent in
which
that
I think it
role.
does,
And so
that
it still
might
has the
be
same
good on
physical power
Assassin.
on it, right?
Yeah.
It's just
Situational,
increased
but
magic
good.
protection. Same
Just
goal
Like
as
more
well.
dive
protection,
comps?
more in line with other items that only add protection.
That would
And
be
I mean, this
so
can still,
interesting, like a
similar to Magi,
circuit.
like you can still pop it before someone
Right.
goes on.
That
you.
is
So
our
that's-
favorite part about this item is that if you're aware of it on the enemy team, you're a mage, you can really focus on poking out that warrior.
Yeah,
making
kinda
him
like a
proc that,
Magi's.
ability when it's
It's
way
literally
far
like
away
an
from you, then you don't have to
offensive,
worry
well, I
about
guess
silence
offensive
until-
or
until
defensive
60
Magi's.
seconds.
Okay, awesome. Bancroft's Talon is going to be the next change. So
Oh yeah,
I love
this
this one,
is
too.
It's gonna be a
still
good
the
item.
same passive, but we're going to make it a little bit more useful. I mean, Bancroft's has been around for a while, but with
Oh, yeah.
recent mage changes to Book and
What?
Soul Reaver and kind of Doom, where we saw it fall off. So now the passive, you're now getting the full benefit of it when at 25% HP. And for those who don't know, as you take damage, you do more damage.
Right.
So Pon, what's
What?
the idea?
So, as a mage, it's really, really scary to be low health, right? And
Oh,
so the reward for choosing to take that risk, to choose to stay kind of lower in health or taking damage, has to be very, very high. And to get the benefit when you're like at really, really low health, 10%, 5% health, it just wasn't quite there in terms of cost effectiveness. And so now that it happens at 25%, you're much more likely to benefit from the power. You have a little bit of a health buffer.
The
so you can make
passive
use of that.
is
You can kind of
just
play around with it a
a
little more.
little bit more
Before it was
useful.
just kind of like
A
I
little
happen to
bit.
be low and I'm getting a benefit. Where now it's like I might tactically sit a little bit lower because I get such a benefit from it.
Right.
So also something to note
I
is
don't know about that.
now you'll actually get the full benefit. Because
Yes.
it says 0%, so it's actually impossible to ever get the full benefit.
actually had to be
you had
dead.
you'd have to be dead,
I
right?
To get the 100 power, you
I
had
think
to be
if
dead.
you, I
which
think if
we-
you rounded
that doesn't
down
make any
and you had 1
sense.
health, you'd get the full effect.
Right, well-
but
Oh,
like,
that's cheating.
Of course. So we really
You didn't
like
even get the
idea of
effect out.
having to
I
be
didn't even
dead
know how
to
you'd be
get the full
dead.
bonus
Yeah,
from
that
an
too.
item.
You couldn't even get the
Seemed-
effect
seemed a
for
little
100.
easier,
funny
now
Dumb.
you can.
Funny enough, speaking about dead, this is going to
Oh,
be
geez.
a very interesting change,
Here we go.
guys.
All right, brace yourselves, everybody.
I know people have
Brace.
been wondering what changes are going to come to Hunters. Well, a lot. So, Throwing Dagger and Golden Bow, they've received buffs. Actually, no, they're just
Ooh.
removed from the game.
Troll.
What?
Throwing Dagger and Golden Bow are now removed from the game. Pon, you've kind of been talking
What?
about,
They
what
just
Throwing
took it
Dagger
out of
and
the
Golden Bow bring to
game?
meta.
What
What's the idea
the
behind this?
fuck?
yeah, so Golden Bow and Throwing
What?
Dagger kind of what they did was they allowed a lot of
How do
hunters to
you-
be able to clear a lot more effectively. And why that made
Mercury,
the hunters a lot
please!
better, it also washed out any differences between the hunters.
Whoa, what the
Artemis kinda
shit?
Played the same way that
Dude.
Neath did, where Neath has a very powerful early game and Artemis has a very
They
powerful
just
late
took it out of the
And
game,
difference
man.
got so washed out that there was no real reason to pick one over the other. It was just kind of you pick the one that you want to go with, and you don't build a team comp around
What?
it. And in the history of Smite, it's always been around. You want to try and build your team comp. With Season 3, the goals were to try and get early game and late game picks, and it was just kind of counter to that.
What?
And the other thing was, all balance decisions now had to be around the fact that everyone was getting throwing dagger.
My mind's
and that
blown,
makes
dude.
it very, very hard to make smart adjustments on characters, really good adjustments on characters. And so for the health of the game overall, it's being taken out.
Right.
What
Big things
the
here is that
fuck?
we had this game or this item in the
Why
game
just
for quite
remove
a while.
it?
It had
Tweak
lower
it.
stats. It wasn't very popular. Pretty much nobody got it except Mercury, just because it happened to have 2 things he needed.
Yeah.
Completely
Exactly.
unrelated to the passive, really. We buffed it a bit.
It
It
did
became
use the passive. What
overwhelmingly
the fuck?
popular. It completely destroyed essentially the hunter balance. So this is what we think is the best way to go forward. We're going to keep a really close eye on hunters coming up in the next couple patches. We have some
What
time
about
before
Mercury?
Some SPL starts back up
Yep.
for the fall split. We really want to keep a close eye, make sure there's lots of viable hunters still. But the key thing is that there will be differences. You can really
There's
going
gonna
to
be so many hunters that aren't good anymore.
Game, or you can pick that Jablanque
Or
and go for
average.
big team fights and build up stacks, bring back Transcendence, Dev's gloves.
I can't believe they just took it out of the
There were plenty of
game.
other options and plenty of things that differentiate
Oh
hunters
my
between themselves,
gosh,
other than
dude.
making them all have the same start.
So this is, I mean, are we thinking about like bringing this back in the future? Or is this for now? It's gone. Let's work on hunters, because you did say at the beginning of this, we're
Yeah,
gonna be
Honor's not gonna be as
evaluating
good
every,
anymore.
hunters and other things over the next couple
For sure.
patches. Are hunters going to be something you're really prioritizing because of the removal?
Mercury's
of
gonna
this?
be poo
we've had
now.
our eye on them
Like,
most of the
Mercury was
season
already
because of
average. It's
throwing
gonna be
dagger was
shit.
causing them to be so many places.
Unless they do something to
Especially
Mercury in this
casual
patch,
games, they're showing up in mid
Mercury's
lanes
gonna be
and solo
shit.
lanes a lot. So we're definitely going to keep a close eye on hunters. Yes.
Okay, so some big changes to the hunter meta, to say the very least.
Yeah, big changes.
To say the very least. Next up
Yeah.
is Heartseeker. So this is kind of similar to what it was before, but the passive has been changed a little bit. Hitting an enemy with a basic attack helps you gain focus, increasing attack speed by 3% per stack, max 5. And at 5 stacks,
Why
your
would you
next
wanna
ability
use
cast
an
consumes a
ability?
stack for an additional 40 power. So kind of similar to Soulstone Pawn.
Yeah. So the big change here is that it actually persists. It's not just for one ability; it's actually persisting.
Oh, it's
Six,
3
six,
seconds. That's
Yeah, 3
interesting.
seconds. And so that actually
Holy
makes it
shit.
very,
Freya
very useful for
ADC
characters
is
who have
back. Let's
very
go,
kind of
Freya.
high dump kits. Your Thor, you can throw out a hammer and then get the
That's
benefit and start
interesting,
spinning,
dude.
and that has a really high scaling. It benefits from it really well. You can be Loki, who can chain a whole bunch of abilities together. You can be a lot of these assassins or a lot of these kind of warriors that chain a whole bunch of abilities together really quickly. And because of that, you can actually feel the benefit of it, because it's actually a pretty big
Oh,
trade-off.
fuck me
25
up,
power
dude.
For 1800
This is gonna be interesting on like
When am I
Fenrir.
buying this?
You're buying this on the assassins that have a whole bunch of chain characters. You're
Fenrir.
buying this as kind of either before boots or just after boots.
Fenrir and even
Power
Instead of-
Thor,
so
dude.
like kind of an option for
Even
Yoans, 'cause
Thor.
Yoans has
Yeah.
kind of been Yoans has been a catch-all for a while.
Yeah, this is a
Fenrir,
good, this is a
Thor,
good differentiation between characters who like
maybe
to get a whole bunch of abilities
Humbats.
off cooldown quickly
Oh,
versus people who
Wheelix.
dump a whole bunch of abilities at once.
After that, we have Runeforged Hammer. So we did have the Emperor's Armor.
Okay,
which
so
is kind of an
Heartseeker might be an
anti-mage item
assassin
because
build
mages
now.
have been pretty
In
powerful
most
so far
assassins,
this
at least
season.
ability
This
based.
is kind of going to that same vein. New passive where enemies who are within 20 feet of you and are slowed take 10% more damage from all
That's
sources.
gonna be a support
Right,
item.
so Runeforge is another one we were looking at for a while.
It's like a
recent
Ymir.
passive iterations
Oh,
haven't been super
so
popular
back.
with it. So what we wanted was another
support
item
slow.
that mostly warriors, maybe some assassins could want, but then that when you are able to synergize really well
Warrior-
with your team,
it's still gonna be
crowd control,
shit.
and infiltrate the backline,
10%
you're gonna
damage
get
isn't
a lot of
enough.
extra damage.
Yeah.
So this is a really small radius.
I feel like.
You need to stay really close to the target, but it really lets you be the target picker. So some warriors like Amaterasu,
Thanks, Chizza.
Bologna, who are really good at getting, Raven, good at getting on a target and sticking to them, are going to really excel with this new Runeforge.
And this is
Oh,
all
it's an
damage.
aura
This
for
isn't just
Ares.
that
Oh,
person
that's gonna be
doing
an
10%
Ares
more
item.
damage.
Holy
This is
shit, I didn't even think about
everyone
that.
is doing more damage to
That's
those
gonna be
people.
so
And
good
it's,
on Ares.
It's a 20-foot radius, so kind of the size of what?
Can
Hog?
Ares get it?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
it's-
physical
it's the,
power?
same
I don't think
radius as
Ares
the
can get it,
Ansile,
right?
The Mantle of Discord.
Yep.
It's a small.
So,
it's a small
so
circle.
for
Yeah, Ares
example,
can't even
if
get
you
it.
like Sun Wukong,
Nobody's gonna be able to
you
get
jump
it.
on
I'm
three
dumb.
people and slow them with Master's
Who's-
Will.
Osiris,
all those
I
people
guess,
are
but
now
no warrior's
taking
gonna want that
bonus damage
shit.
from all
Yep.
sources if you're
Right.
mages.
Well, if you're
And
Chalk
the
and you're
ones
raiding
that
a
are
whole bunch of
closest.
people.
Yeah, Chalk
Chalk.
too. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Osiris.
Chalk's probably the
Definitely-
biggest. Big
definitely
AoE
make Chalk
slow
strong.
for persistence. So
gonna
And
be
this
so
effect is
boring.
not going to stack. There's no way to get more than 10%
okay.
on any one. If you have multiple Runeforged hammers, you're only widening your area.
What about Amaterasu? Because her passive is to do kind of the same thing.
That
is
it
that
will
going to
stack
stack
with, yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that's a 40% damage increase.
Up
so,
to, yeah.
a fun number of events.
Warriors need some love, right?
We got they do.
Oh,
We got
warriors
2
don't
more
need
items.
love.
They
What is
got
wrong
things
with
back
you
now, too.
people?
We've got 2 more items to go over. So first up is Genji's Garb, and this is actually just an updated.
They didn't do
visual
anything to Genji's. I was
change
about to
when
say, why
triggered.
would they touch
So we'll see
Genji's?
that in game here shortly.
Yep.
Pawn will go over it.
This goes in conjunction with the next one. So
yeah, so we'll talk about Spectral now after that.
Yeah, Spectral Armor is the one that we really...
So we did have the Phantom introduced, which is the Ghost Walk passive. That was on Spectral.
Yeah,
so,
so
now
remove, what's the passive?
we've kind of reimagined Spectral Armor once again. So now, new passive, when you activate a relic, your cooldowns are reduced by 3 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 30 seconds. So this is kind of old beads.
Yeah, it's
right?
like
The
old beads, but
passive.
you could proc it
Yes.
twice
So,
in
what's
30
going on?
seconds.
So, yeah, what we have here is we have the new visual effects for both Spectral and Genji's. You'll see a little blue swirl.
I don't know if
go around
the
you when
item
you activate
stats
them,
are
so
good
your
enough
opponents and
for the
allies
passive.
can tell that you just had your cooldowns drastically reduced. We
don't think
really
so.
liked the part about Spectral Armor that had a trigger that happened when you used a relic, something else interesting. But before it was kind of triggering a relic on top of a relic, as we see now, we've split them. Now you have something a little bit more widely
Why
applicable.
did they just use a relic?
That whenever you use your beads, your blink,
His
supports
abilities have no
using
cooldown,
this
so you
to
can't even
get
show
their
it.
CC abilities up again a lot sooner. It's has some really interesting applications of using multiple abilities in a row.
Is it double stacking it because you have 2, or is it only 1?
No, that's the Phantom effect. That's the one I happen to have. But you see that flash?
Yeah, so he's using Phantom. The swirl is the one that's persisting, but
Let me see
right
if I
at the
can
beginning, yeah, you
switch
might
to
want to use
someone
just
else.
beads or something to a little bit more easily display that.
Try getting just like 1, because we also want to see the cooldown on Spectral.
What would be a good one for this?
I mean, beads would just highlight
Yeah.
your glow. so you wouldn't
Or
have any-
Scout, because you could just keep
Oh
regenerating.
yeah, there we go, there we go.
Come on, man, I know what I'm talking
It's
did it.
taking
about.
so long. Just
I've
show
done
me.
1 patch notes, and I'm already better than
Yeah,
you.
I don't
so-
think this item's going to be that great.
This also has an internal cooldown, so you can't just be standing in base, popping Scout wards
Can you,
for infinite cooldowns.
So clear your cooldowns, and then use an ability, and then just to show that it's going to
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
on cooldown.
show the 3 seconds.
Come on,
That's what they
there
should
we
have done
go.
Come
first.
on,
though.
Pon.
We're so used to having infinite cooldowns here.
And you can see we're down to 10
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Okay, so some
I don't think
interesting
so.
So like
I don't think
that's
so.
gonna be it for items, but like all these items seem like, especially like Ritual Dagger, where it's gonna synergize
don't
with
think so.
your relics. Same with Spectral Armor. There seems to be a lot more kind of build.
The biggest
choices that we're
change
needing.
so far is
Yep.
Golden Bow.
Yeah, mostly.
Nothing
one of the
else
things
is
we really
huge
want
other
in
than
this
that
patch is a lot of
Adventurers
build
Blade or
diversity,
whatever.
Lots of
Whatever
relic
that new
diversity and
cheap
lots
blade
of god
is.
diversity.
That'll
The
be
more
good.
of that we have, the better we think that everything is.
It's awesome. So we've been through 2/3 of the changes, and
All right,
actually,
God
this is
changes
probably
better be
the biggest-
fucking
the
huge.
most-
Now we get to the best
longest.
part, right? God.
So
Very
we got
fucking
the
huge.
items and the relics. Now we're going to go for gods. So this is not just buffs, updates, and fixes. This is also some, I wouldn't say redesigns, but some reimagining of passives of kind of those
Right.
lackluster.
Yeah.
I know this is something that community has been kind of preaching about for a while, wanting
Yeah.
shifted.
Some are redesigned, some are just changed a good bit, but they're going to be very new and refreshing either way.
All right,
Yep.
we're gonna show some of them in game. Let's first start with AMC. The B's getting some love.
I
getting
don't
some
care about
honey.
the looks of shit.
So
Show me the
basic attacks
changes.
now are so AMC's basic attack offset distance has been reduced. What does this mean, Pon?
Yeah, what the fuck is
So
that?
yeah,
Go
you
ahead,
know
Paul.
when he auto attacks and it shoots from the left side, it has that left offset. That's a little bit less severe now, so it feels a little bit better to aim, a little bit more accurate.
So AMC players will kind of have to like relearn their auto attacks because he does shoot from the left, where almost everyone is either center or right.
Correct. So it was really far to the left. We pulled that back a little bit. It still fits where his model is shooting the stingers from, but it feels a lot closer to other hunters.
So it's visually it's going to be the same, or can we show it
you
in
will
game?
n-
We
it's
can show it in
It is
game.
a
Yeah, let's
slight
show it in
visual
game
change.
real
It's
quick.
physically moved the area where it leaves his hand.
So
He plays
if
the
someone's
AMC.
close to you, there's going to be because sometimes you would miss them if they're like right in your face.
It's
Maybe.
wide enough that I don't.
Oh,
think
yeah,
it
that
really
does.
affects
That
the
is
point.
way
This is
different,
mostly a
actually.
feel thing.
Okay,
feels
so
straight
maybe
almost.
AMC feels
That's
a
really
little bit
good.
better.
Yep.
That's actually a
Also
pretty
changes
good, like,
to Honey.
minimal change.
Oh, yeah.
Honey's damage has been increased from 8 scaling
His
up to
Bazooka.
60 to 13 scaling up to 61.
Whoa,
So maybe another option to clear.
Yeah, so that's really
crazy.
focused
That'll be
on
maybe a
highlighting
little
his
bit better
ability to
early
clear.
poke.
He's kind of this clear hunter, and speaking to the message
Early
we
clear,
had,
early poke.
we just really want to highlight that strength of his. And so the first point of Honey specifically was really weak. It was only 8 points of damage. It didn't contribute much to like actually give you damage to clear the wave. And so we're bringing that up, and then we're compensating all the rest of it. Ends about the same.
Why does it have to end in 61? I'm like actually triggered.
So this is this is an ability that that can tick up to 8 or
Yeah,
10
why
times. So when you
61?
have you
Yeah.
have that many ticks, you can't just go in 0s and 5s like we like to do. So as much as we love that, these scale up by
Yeah, it's rough.
12 per level, which just worked out
I'm
better.
so triggered. I'm just letting you know I don't like that
Those
it's
numbers
in
are
this.
weird
It's
as
such a
shit.
number.
I know.
We've had weirder.
We have. And,
like a Bracken's old scaling.
We did try to make sure that we couldn't do 0s or 5s, but it was too much or too little damage.
Yeah,
this
11,
is what works.
11
So far, still just golden bow. The only thing that sticks out to me.
This is something.
Buffing Anubis?
That,
Here we go.
I mean, Anubis has not been changed.
Bring Anubis back into the meta.
I don't know what the change log is, but I don't recall anything outside of like targeter changes.
It was like I think 2014.
Please.
It's been a while.
Please.
Right, so first off, we're gonna see Anubis running a little bit faster. Base movement speed increased from 350 to 60. We'll just go through them all and then kind of talk about it afterwards.
It's not as slow.
Mummify, the cooldown has been reduced from
that
18 to 14
nice.
to 16 to 12.
That's
And
actually
then
decent.
the big one is Death Gaze's radius has increased to 1.75.
What?
Okay, so I think we have a typo on the website, just so you guys know.
That doesn't make any sense.
That is not increased basic attack damage. That is increased base movement speed.
Yeah,
okay.
I
What
think
about
people
this
would
Death
realize
Gaze
that
shit?
when they saw that the increase was to 360. What if like Anubis, like his autos are just hitting for 360?
Did no one figure out that was what Goobus's build was supposed to be?
Auto attack Anubis has always been the design intent.
Bring back physical items for mages.
Typo aside, it is
really,
the movement
Death
speed,
Gaze.
slight change in movement speed, the mummy cooldown, and the Death Gaze. So, you know, there's lots of ideas floating around there about things to do with Anubis, and the thing is, we really love him the way he is.
Okay.
He works really well. He's really readable from both opponents and allies. So we just wanted to augment his current strengths just a little bit more to bring him up to the level that we hope to see.
How much easier is it to hit the? Because Death Gaze was like real. It's like not easy to hit. It's like threading a needle.
Narrow attack in the game
by far.
Yeah.
Even and after this, it's going to feel a little bit more like a normal basic attack shot.
So kind of going up to there. I don't.
So
it's
just a wider beam,
but you can't.
The beam is bigger or wider,
thicker,
whatever.
It's hard to see
we
in game.
We can show Anubis. He has had updated effects for his ultimate a little bit. They're a little bit wider. You can see the two laser beams.
This,
from his eyes
I mean, this isn't going to make him viable. No.
So that really looked like one beam.
It's better. It's obvious, but it doesn't make him viable.
No,
these changes aren't
like
massive, dude. I'm pissed.
Beams.
So
they aren't doing enough to the gods that are shit tier competitive level.
Be standing still, but now it's going to be a little bit better for you to hit, and you're going to have.
No,
more
the beam
mummies
doesn't go
up
farther.
cooldown,
It's
so if
thicker.
You're a good player. You're buffed Anubis because you're hitting more mummies.
Okay. Yep. So we actually most of these changes are buffs or kind of shifts in their styles. Yeah. This is one of the nerfs we have. Ao Kuang, obviously the SS
Ao Kuang nerfed into the ground.
On tier.
No more Quang.
Has been nerfed a little bit. Wildstorm damage reduced from 90 scaling to 290 to 80 scaling to 260.
That's not that big. That's so minimal, man.
He's very, very bursty in how he kind of plays.
Is
he still gonna be bursty?
I didn't notice.
He has Wildstorm into
really had it.
A detonate on the one into an execute.
Never noticed.
And so
some of our viewers might know that.
So this hits two things, right? Is it hits the early game a little bit, so his clear is a little bit slower, his gank potential is a little bit weaker, but 30 damage.
All gone, 30 damage nerf.
Especially when you're trying to thread that needle to get to the execute threshold.
Fucking
every
changes,
little bit off
bro.
Makes a huge difference in terms of like actually being able to kill a person versus not.
And this is also pairing with the water illusion nerfs from recent patch. So he's been getting hit pretty frequently.
Water illusion was just kind of doing too many things. This is his easiest to hit ability too.
His cooldowns need to go up as well as this
cooldown
for
and
him to
it's
be
in
shit.
front of him, so that's why we wanted to make sure we drew.
Items make him do too much
His
damage.
power abilities with his dragons and other things, but this one was just a little too free.
Okay, on to Arachne. This is going to be a pretty big quality of life where I think people are going to enjoy.
Hold on.
The web now has been changed, how it deploys and how it works. It now fires as a projectile of web and spiders, not just I put it at a spot and place it. Arachne shoots a line of web forward. She's immune to slows and moves faster on web. If the web reaches max range, a web trap will spawn. Enemy gods who walk through the trap get hit. Okay, so let's just show this again. This is way too wordy. We're just going to show it in game.
It is a complicated ability. It was before we made any changes to it. Yes, so we'll.
What the shit?
Right here as our resident Arachne expert.
So there's also a quick bug before we start is the trails.
Bug. I got it because she's a bug. Pawn.
Rip.
Got
Show me the
there
freaking
is
ability.
a technical issue with the web where right now you don't see the trail, but as you can see when I get onto it, I actually.
Wait, what happens if you hit somebody with it though?
Before it goes live, obviously. But there is a trail that gets.
No, I'm looking at the spiders crawling on it.
Yeah,
that wasn't there
some
before.
Visual updates that came with this. The
I don't care about the visual. Show me the fucking
I don't like
ability,
spiders.
dude.
I actually really don't like spiders.
Like
Shut up, Adonis.
Here,
Who cares what you like and dislike?
Now has a buff against arachnophobia.
No, that's like those are creepy spiders too. That's not just like little broodlings. Those are like creepy.
So what happens if it
projectile now.
hits short?
Carry the
Show it
floor
short.
web with the shot, so even if you don't hit anybody, you can just shoot this while you're running away and get a
Show it
speed
short.
boost. You can just shoot it straight ahead,
And
it'll deploy.
It'll deploy anywhere.
Somebody, otherwise
Okay.
it'll make the trap.
Interesting.
And is there any other changes to this ability and how
Not
it
really
works at all?
quality.
No,
I guess
all of the numbers are the same as they were before.
Okay, just making it a little bit easier to kind of use and have a little bit more effectiveness.
So what we have done is we've
don't-
traded out.
no, I'm
the
not
part where you
sold
just
on
drop
the
it
ability,
top
bro.
of people. That
not
could
sold.
be useful for Arachne players in certain scenarios, but it was really tough to read as an opponent. You really had no way to answer it. You just got spiders dropped on you.
And is it going to be
What?
I have a
That's
que- is it gonna be
good.
max range at all times, or can you kind of aim it down and shorten
Nope,
it?
it's max range.
It's max
Okay.
range, but you can use walls to have it
Stop
and-
on them.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
so this isn't a
Really,
quality
it's
of life
straight line
change.
skill shot now, as opposed to just dropping out on people. And since you have to use this additional skill shot element, it's a little bit harder to use. But you also have this extra strategy where you can just shoot it just for movement speed across open space.
Chat wants you to get the penta.
The movement speed
don't know
part
if
is
you wanna-
nice.
You want
I'll give them that.
Penta real
So
quick?
it's bugged right now and not
Yes,
showing the
pumps.
trail. You should have a trail when you shoot it
from
for
the
movement speed.
Fafnir channel.
It's so short.
We
I
should
had
have
a
read
good
that.
pawn
It
name
needs to be
on YouTube,
longer.
but I can't remember what it was. But
Like
I
it's
obviously forgot.
It,
Oh, they
it
might
should
not
be a
spawn
Hebo
that.
length.
Okay, sorry,
in my
Chad.
opinion. Like
We'll
Hebo's
do it,
cool.
Chad.
Can't do it. Can't do
We'll
it.
do it later.
There's two. We're already an hour
We have
deep, and
more
we have
buffs.
way more changes.
Oh,
So,
more guys.
are we really an hour in? Oh,
excuse me. We so we
Here we
talked
go.
about how we're going to see multiple passive changes. This is going to be the first one we're seeing. Aphrodite. So new passive, Center of Attention. Aphrodite gains 4 physical protections and 4 magical protections for each friendly enemy god within 70 feet of her, stacking up to 9 times. Now the mana regen has just
What?
been. It's still there, but it's now on the kiss.
Yep.
So
Holy
what
shit.
are we looking at for Afro here?
It's not that
So,
big though.
one thing to
40
touch on was
protections.
the gods that we were considering
Maybe
for new passives.
better
mostly
early, I
we were
guess? I
considering
don't
this
know.
off of community feedback. A lot of this patch actually was heavily based on community feedback, and just we really listened to Reddit and our surveys and our Twitter followers as well. So a lot of times we heard Aphrodite passive really kind of boring. So we didn't want to take
This
anything
is
away
still
from her,
boring.
because we like where she's at right now, but we did want to add
What?
it. So we moved the Kiss regeneration is now just a part of Kiss, so she still has her old passive. This is not a trade. This is just purely additive. She's still going to regen mana with her ally, but now she has this new passive. Heavily fits around her theme.
an
and her
item
lore.
if you're around
Aphrodite,
enough
she wants
gods.
all eyes on her. She
I don't
wants
know.
to be in the middle of battle. She wants
Protection
also healing
item-ish.
in the middle of team fights and be really stuck to an important target on
She's
the team.
better,
It's
but
gonna
I
make
don't
her
know
harder
if
to
it's
kill
going to
when
make
she's
her
inside
good.
That crazy chaos.
Also, I think Pon was mentioning, we're going to see this in game here real quick, but there's also something that maybe not a lot of people thought of, because I know there was kind of talks about this passive before. Pon,
Yeah.
why don't you show it off?
Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on this, but this is a really cool mechanic for now.
yeah, this is interesting, and we'll see how it plays out. But so we're gonna go into game. As you can see, as I get closer to these Odins, I'm getting the stacks of the passive. But the important thing to note is, if I'm here, they're behind that wall. I'm still getting the benefit. So if I'm in lane and I'm kind of hugging the wall a little bit, I might actually know that the jungler's coming ahead of time, even if I don't have sight.
Oh, you can
because
use it for
they're coming to
vision.
me, I can actually see the effect, or maybe there's someone around the corner I don't know. I see.
That's
the effect, or there's
interesting.
Loki stealth nearby,
Not really
I can see the
game breaking.
effect.
Loki
And
stealth.
so it kind of
that-
acts as also a scout to know when people are watching you.
It
So,
needs
yeah,
a bigger
you're
range.
almost like
I think the range should be
mobile,
bigger.
Ward where it's not going to be. It's something
Range
that
should
you
be
have to pay
bigger, and
more
that
attention
passive
to,
would
but
be really
It
good.
should make you relatively safer. Like you're going to know when a gank's coming,
Yes.
unless it's
Yeah.
like a Thor ult.
Not really.
So for
It's not
the other
that
thing
big.
is, for a lot of the kind of non-god characters, Sun Wukong Decoy has a few problems with it.
I think it
He
needs to be
does
bigger.
count as a god in
He
most
counts
cases.
as a
He
god
could
in
probably
most
increase
cases.
this a stack, actually.
Does he now? So it says stacks up to 9 times, but that is that because it's not possible to get more than that? But will it stack to 10 with Sun Wukong Decoy?
I might have to double check and actually put a cap on that.
Let's just assume that we did it with a cap.
Yeah,
Let's assume. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
we'll assume.
we'll double check. that
Afro
one.
solo?
So Aphrodite new
no,
passive,
I don't think so.
Some counterplay options with it as well. That's going to be a little bit more technical.
These changes
maybe
are
players not gonna get
so
it, but also you do just
minimal
get the
that it
direct
doesn't like make
benefit
them
of
OP.
just
It's
more
like maybe
protection
they'll be
early
used
on.
sometimes.
I mean, and this might even make
Maybe.
her a viable duo laner. We're not sure quite yet,
Afro
but getting
support.
those free protections with, you're going to have 3 gods around you, you're going to get that times 3, that's 12 each. That's
Yep.
pretty significant at level 1. So we like the idea of Afro showing up in some unexpected spots, maybe where we haven't seen her before.
Awesome. So some
that
more
happens, I'm going to
changes.
be really fucking
More changes to
surprised.
healers, though. We're not done. It's not just.
Uh-oh, Chunga
Afro
coming
as
back
well
in the
as
meta?
first
Oh, no,
nerf.
many more.
Uh-oh.
Chang'e, Moonflower Dance. So scaling on the healing portion of this ability has been increased from 30% to 40%. Pretty
What are
straightforward.
these
fun.
Yeah,
fucking
this is just to kind
changes,
of make her
dude.
healing a little bit more effective. When we looked at like the healing numbers for characters,
Changes
she
are
was,
so
she was wanting
little
short,
that
so
it's
we
a
brought that
waste
up a
of
little bit,
fucking.
and then
This shouldn't
is
be written on a
also
piece of paper.
Combined with Curse being weakened too, so she's getting a kind of pseudo double buff if people were building to counter her.
All right. Fafnir getting some buffs as well. We'll let you talk about this, Ajax.
Sure, yeah.
Cursed Strength, the stun is increased to 1.5 at all ranks. The damage over time in Dragon form has been kind of shifted as well. What's up with
for
that?
all of his abilities. So initially this ability was really designed to feel like a poison. So it would apply, and then it would deal damage 1 second later, 2 seconds later, 3 seconds later.
Fafnir change might help him a little bit. I mean, obviously it helps him a little bit.
Hitting somebody with something and then not seeing damage happen at the same time just felt strange. So we've just re-timed the damage. It's still a 3-second dot. It's still going to tick 3 times. It's still going to do the same amount of damage, but it's going to do damage at 0 seconds right when you first hit. And then once in the middle and once at the end. And then it's going to happen to all of his dragon dots.
And also, Dragon's Breath will have increased damage as well. That's the basic attack, or the basic attack when you're in Dragon form.
So the 2 main buffs to Fafnir.
Oh, so the dot now procs
on Curse Strength. That's going to apply to his Dwarf and Dragon Stun. It's going to be slightly longer.
Yeah, he's going to be better.
That's a tough skill shot. We really want that to pay off when you hit it. And then Dragon Breath is just going to have buffed damage.
He'll do more damage.
Really,
they're trying to make him into a damage mage.
Terrified if you're
a damage guardian.
I mean, it is like it is a dragon.
Right, and it wasn't quite doing that, having that.
I wonder at how big. I want to play him now. I want to try him out.
Okay.
Those changes could be like nice.
Fafnir, and now we have another
nice
passive shift,
to make him
kind
viable.
of similar to what it was. Guan Yu is getting some changes. So, first off, the stacks have increased from 20 to 30. And it's still gained the same way, where when you take damage or give damage to minions or gods.
Right.
But now the passive effect is doing different things across all abilities, right? So the heal, it's still going to be the same, where you get bonus healing. Warriors,
he can do more damage
from
now.
30 to 60% if you use all those stacks. Talu Assault, the protection shred has gone from 10 at max rank to 15
Holy
at max rank.
shit! Wait, only protection shreds? I thought it'd be more damage.
And the stun from 1 second to 2 if you go.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting. He's more control-y than just heal-based.
Right.
They buff Guan.
Now you have to be actually fully stacked.
Right.
They straight up just buff Guan.
Yep. That's true.
We're going to see it in game here in a little
bit.
bit.
So I'm currently setting up for it right now.
All right, so
yeah,
what was the
he's more control than he used to be.
30 stacks now, and it's not going to have an effect until it's at 30 stacks.
I mean, granted, he needs the full stacks, but the full stack's pretty easy to get.
Total healing over the entire match is probably going to bring that down a bit. Assuming
more
that
control,
choose some of the other
slightly
options
less
to buff
healing, not too much.
Their abilities instead of just always the heal. So that's going to mean that Guan Yu's going to be able to fight. He's going to be really incentivized to stay in the fight, land lots of abilities, take lots of damage like he always wants to do. Then instead of boosting his heal, perhaps you're playing with another healer, you just don't need it. He can instead use one of his other abilities for really increased crowd control or protection shred, which are all really useful tools in all different situations. That's really what we like about this change the most, is he can get this buff to apply. He does also have a new effect to go with him to show him. So you're as an enemy, watch out for Guan when he's all energized red flames. That means that one of his powered up abilities is coming.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And so you're going to be able to stack that up. And I think it is important to note.
I think that might make him better in other late, like solo lane.
Half of them saying nerf, half of them are saying buff. What are kind of your guys' feels on that?
So I think the big thing for him, right, is he's kind of been this really, really good healer.
Okay.
But
really strong healer.
But he also is supposed to be this kind of tactician, utility warrior.
Yeah, now he's more control.
Gets overshadowed by the fact that he heals a ton. Yeah, that'll make it go faster. So,
let's look at that fire effect.
Yeah, the effects don't mean shit to me.
Because before you could never know. So now you're going to know if he's dashing or if he's doing Talu Assault, that it's going to be more effective on you.
You see the firing cavalry charge, you know to.
Yeah, can you ult? Let's see it. Okay, so you're going to know that it's going to be a 2-second stun, so you have maybe something.
How do you know?
Yep. So. Pawn, continue about how you thought about the buff versus nerf.
So it's kind of both, right? Because he's not always going to be getting this passive healing effect, but he now gets a whole bunch of additional utility. When he needs a slow, he can get a slow. When he needs more shred, he can get more shred. When he needs a stronger slow and CC on his ultimate, he gets that. And so it's kind of this trade-off.
People are gonna suck
versus getting this utility.
at using the passive properly for a while.
A lot, and it changes his playstyle really heavily.
I feel like the ult's the best one.
This warrior that's kind of this
bonus stun, like 2-second stun is huge. It's a long ass time.
Yeah,
and I think I do want to remind chat and everyone that it is harder to get these stacks now. It is gone from 20 to 30 on max.
Right.
And in addition to that, you're not going to get partial benefit. Like, you have to go max stack. So you get your 30 stacks and spit it on the heal. Well, now you're not going to get the buff to the ult. And it's like,
taking
if you want to use it
damage
for the
and
ult,
doing damage, you'll build it pretty quickly.
So a little bit more switch up
Team
there.
fights.
More on the healers though, guys. We have another not really passive change, but making Hell a little bit more
pretty hype.
friendly to play.
Community's been wanting to see Hell for a while.
Let's first talk about
Mindy Zema's gonna be so happy.
That's the switch stances. So and her passive. So decreased time it takes to fully charge a stance from 5 seconds to 3 seconds.
Okay,
you will switch stance from healing.
So that is the minimal. That is probably the
so
smallest change
damage boost and
they could have made so far. There better be another change
so
on Hell.
the big thing for her is you have much more utility. She's kind of a utility mage. She has her burst components, but that's kind of like one of her really cool things. She has 6 abilities. They all provide different benefits, and she can also cleanse her team and slow her team. And highlighting the fact that she can get more damage,
fucking
more healing.
change. There better be another ability change.
Hell players who are very comfortable with using their utility, very comfortable with using all their kit, are getting a benefit from this more so than just the people who are trying to do the burst mage Hell.
We get it.
We also have some additional changes to her abilities outside of the passive kind of quality.
Hinder, that's the 2.
Hinder, the slow has been increased from 10 to 30
decent.
to 20 to 40, so extra 10 on each.
That's actually a pretty good slow.
A little bit more of that utility, and then Inspire, the scaling has increased from 30% to 40%.
Scaling is so minimal.
And the movement speed buff on that has.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good.
What are the thoughts about that?
That's actually really good early game.
We brought the scaling down.
That's huge for being aggressive early game, dude. Holy
it's
shit.
A massive team heal, but we do really like Hell as all of her utility, so that's what you see.
I like that change.
So you got a stronger slow on Hinder, and you.
I don't know if it'll make Hell good,
this is gonna
but
make
like
safer
that makes
game,
her more aggressive early.
Yes.
Now
more
she's
slow early,
and get
more movement speed early.
Speed at level
good for
1,
kiting.
She
could kite so well if played correctly.
Into, kind of a defensive item instead
early
of
at least. I don't know about mid to late.
Defensive item, make sure that you're safe. You can cleanse yourself a little more easily with the previous adjustments we made. Hell should be a lot safer in lane. She should be a lot more reliable to get to kind of that mid and late game phase. And her mid and late game phase is going to be a little bit better just in general.
One more interesting thing to note would be with her passive, as you can see Pawn switching back and forth. The delay before the bar starts charging is the same.
So normally this is 5 seconds. That's only 3 now.
Right. So normally, players who play Hell can still use that fun stance swap where you just go to light stance and just heal and switch right back.
The ult change whatever time is so minimal.
Or vice versa.
I think the movement speed is the biggest, and then the slow, and then the scaling, and then that change.
Okay. Moving on, we have Naja now, another passive kind of changed, and this is the second time we've seen this passive changed. Righteous Spirit. So
why change the
this one is going to be another one that's kind of in
Naja was like good,
similar to Guan Yu.
Yes,
so Naja gains stacks from successful basic attack and ability hit, and 2x stacks for crits. Each stack provides him with 0.5% crit chance, and stacks are lost after being out of combat for 5 seconds. And now you're getting, I believe, a percentage.
Oh, it just heals no matter what?
So this is what's going on with Naja now.
Similar to the other gods we did the passive on, Naja isn't losing his old passive. The Flaming Spear is still going to create a heal, but it's not going to consume the stacks anymore. He's only going to lose the stacks when he's out of combat for too long. So that's actually, it's actually quite powerful. We've been playing with it a lot. It's been playing really well. So you get these passive stacks as you continue jungling.
Up to 20 still?
Up to 20.
So that you can't heal whenever you want?
Passive crit chance when you're full stacks. And it'll give you 15% now healing when you're max with Flaming Spear. The difference is now as Naja stays in a fight, you can use the Flaming Spear stim and the heal without having to worry about sacrificing the other. So before you're like, I'm at full health, I really want to get this crit buff with Flaming Spear, but I don't want to waste my heal because it consumes his stacks. That was the part that was really not fun about Naja.
So now you have kind of a distinguishable choice where
you shouldn't fucking fall off,
without having to worry about losing your crit chance.
Right. So as long as you keep fighting, you can use Flaming Spear multiple times. You get the heal every time. Just got to stay in combat.
It's gonna be hard as shit.
And just to ask,
have max stacks.
It says stacks are lost after being out of combat for 5 seconds. So it's like, it's not just like I hit someone and 5 seconds later I lose it. You have to be running around, get out of combat, then an additional
6-second combat timer.
Okay, so
and
11 seconds.
So it's 11 seconds after a hit before you will lose the passive. It's actually quite a long time when you're roaming around from jungle camp to jungle camp and lane to lane. You will keep the passive if you're doing it efficiently.
So kind of incentivizing.
I guess that makes sense. You might be able to keep them going, but if you back or something, then go into a fight.
Naja has a
I actually
petal Lotus Glow
I actually really like what we've done too with like the effects. Everything seems like
Fuck the effects,
starting
bro.
with thorns to the
Oh, you
the
build stacks
armor on
fast,
the
the ring
towers.
bounce.
Like, it
Okay.
seems like you really want to visually display.
Yeah, I lied, guys.
stuff
This could
that's
be
happening.
kind of
Another thing we
nasty
really tried to
change.
touch on in
That
this
could be
update was
a
any,
really good change.
item or ability that had
Like
really
a really,
short
really
ability,
good
it was hard
change.
to tell what was going on.
Because it's up
Got
for
a little
10
bit
seconds,
tweak. So here we
and then
see
you
both
have
the match
5
stacks, and
seconds
you
or
see
6 seconds till
pulse
you're out of
start
combat,
warming
and then you
up
have
your
5
movement
seconds
stacks,
on top
you
of
can see
that.
the timer
So it's
at the
21
bottom,
seconds.
keeping track of how many seconds he had exactly on that buff icon. So he just threw a ring out at 1
That could
second.
be
and was able to
really fucking
immediately
good, actually.
refresh
That's gonna be
the timer
nasty
to
as shit.
20
I lied.
stacks.
And so
I
when
lied,
you're in
team.
combat, when you're
Pretty
fighting,
good
or
as
even
shit.
if like people are fighting, around you, and you've been hit or got hit,
Yeah.
you're gonna remain that.
Yeah, you
Is it
just
so?
take
Is it? I mean, Pon, you've probably practiced with this a little bit. Is it pretty easy to keep those stacks?
Yeah, if you're familiar with like how Bakasura plays in the jungle, where he's maintaining his stacks a ton, it feels very similar to that. So when you're running around, you want to try and time your jungle or camps kills.
I understand you don't lose stacks. That's not what I was worried about. I was worried about the fact that you...
Go to a lane real
Wait,
quick
he
and
lost
keep
him
it up.
instantly.
And
What
if
the
you
fuck?
keep it up and maintain it really high, you have a very reliable heal and sustain in the jungle, and you also have a really high gank potential. If
It
like,
should
you
be
jump in and
added
get an extra
to
chance.
the
You can
10
use your Q,
seconds.
get a
What the
really high crit
shit?
chance of
Okay,
your
I lied. I'm going back and
dash
forth
for your
here.
session.
So you're like
So-
always gonna have that like 10% crit if you can keep the passive
Yep.
stacks, right?
Yep.
And
So
it
You're
also
not gonna
helps
be able to
you clear
keep
a
the
lot
passive
better.
stacks
So
up.
Najah
There's
just
no
kind of
fucking
plays
way.
so fluidly, and it highlights the fact that Najah is kind of this reborn prince. You're kind of rewarded now for staying in fights, getting multiple flaming spears off, where before it was kind of
You're
like
gonna
this really
need
run character
to
that
do
kinda
shit
all
right before you
down.
go into a fight, so you have stacks.
There's a lot
You're
more
gonna have
play
to.
to be a little bit more in, out, healing, keeping fighting.
The
all that
problem
kind of
is
stuff.
Najah in
Awesome.
the
After
competitive
that,
scene
we
isn't
have
played as like a
Odin. So,
sustained auto attack.
Odin's old passive
Your burst.
has been
You're getting bursted. Get the fuck
where
out.
You gain 5 power for each
I'm
enemy
actually
you
kind of
got that
annoyed.
dies inside the ring.
I'm back and
It's been
forth, but I
moved
don't
to
like
just
that
his ult. It's just an
change.
extra thing
At
on his
all.
ult.
Another one that we didn't cut that part. It's not very powerful for him, but it is really fun to go for, and you want to kill those people anyway. So that is staying as part of his
Odin's
ultimate.
passive
The
is
Ring
pretty
of Spears
shit.
now has permanent power stacks.
And so Path of Valhalla is now the new passive.
Right.
Whenever any god, not just teammates, enemies, allies, doesn't matter,
Yep.
dies on the battlefield, Odin gains a 10%
What?
movement speed and 10% power buff for 10 seconds.
That's actually
Stacking
pretty
up to 5.
fucking
So
cool,
this gives
dude.
Odin this big kill streak kind of mechanic. So
Yo, imagine
no
if
matter
your whole
he's over in
team
solo
dies,
lane or
you
jungle,
do
as soon as the
50%
fights
more. You have
start
50%
going
more
down,
power.
Okay.
Odin's gonna
You
get
just
this buff
dumpster
as
everybody,
players on
bro.
either team die. Gonna really give you these like power
Okay,
play moments, and you
I
really
like
wanna
this.
capitalize.
Hey, this
Odin
can happen.
might
So say
be
you're in
pretty
solo lane and,
fucking
like, someone-
hilarious.
There's fighting in the
dude.
mid or dual lane. You have that option where now I have this movement speed.
Odin
and power.
will-
Do I
could be
wanna do
fun.
something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kind of focuses on making sure that you pay attention to the map, you know where your fights are happening, and then as the late game team fights start happening, if you start killing people and your team starts dying, you may have that huge power play where you turn it with a massive 50% bird bomb increase.
And will this restack? So say like someone dies, and then like 5 seconds later someone else dies. Is it going to refresh
It
to the full
refreshes with each
10-second
stack.
duration?
Yep.
Getting a kill every 10 seconds is a rarer scenario than you'd think. But
I'm just thinking late game scenarios. Team fights a fire giant. Someone dies. Someone else, because it's not like I said. It's not just you.
So
like,
he also
your enemies,
gets
it's
the
your-
plus
your
attack
teammates
power.
as well if they die.
But it's
Let's
attack
take a look at
power.
this in-game,
It's
though.
not physical
this
power,
one we'll
right? It's just
definitely keep
attack
a
power.
close eye on for
There you go.
number.
There
So
you
he
go.
still has his old
The stacks
passive.
and the buff are easily adjustable.
What
Alright,
about?
so let me get a power item real
Think
quick
of
so
that
you can see
arena.
the increase.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, right. And Odin has some,
Hey, you know what? Everyone was saying rip Odin when it comes to
Right,
Phantom.
I
You know
know.
what?
Oh my
rip everyone
gosh!
else.
Yeah, so
he's got 70 fucking
Phantom,
power.
Phantom, maybe checked Odin a little bit, but now he's got Path to Valhalla, which is going to
Jungle Odin.
really strengthen
I'm
it.
back,
And
boys.
you can see as Pawn
Now I
has
can't
a
do 667
army of
damage
Odin
again.
bots,
It's
they're all
impossible.
triggering their own passive on each other as they all die.
It'll be near impossible
I
for
didn't-
me to
okay, let's see it
repeat
again.
667.
So
I wasn't
We're
looking.
killing the
See,
dream.
the show has gone on so long, the time has gone so long that the respawn timers are
shit.
actually
Yeah,
really
look, we're
long.
actually 56
Oh,
minutes.
yeah, our bots actually take time to spawn.
Yes,
So
so-
it does not happen very often.
So there's one, and you can see all the Odins that I have spawn benefit. 2.
Oh, okay, because they have it as well.
Look at how
Pawn's
much
using a
faster he's
super cheat
moving.
Right now, where he can one-shot everybody.
Show
Yep.
me
That is
the
not how
ult.
strong the
Use
ability
the
is.
ult. I want to see people
not
die
how
in the
strong the
ult.
ability actually is. Although you can see it increasing.
Yeah, you can see
the-
his
the-
numbers going crazy from 1,000 to 15.
So now,
15,000 power.
so tactical feeding is actually a thing now, right? We're
I
like,
suppose.
if
Oh,
I got
you're
an
not gonna
Odin on my
tactical
team, and I'm
fucking
like,
feed,
and he
bro.
goes, "Hey guys, I could kill someone if I get 10% movement speed." You just go and run into a tower.
We don't recommend tactically feeding unless
Yeah.
you're communicating very closely
Unless you're
with your
Zapman.
team.
That's like a pro.
That's like a
player,
Zapman strat.
If you really get in there and get somebody really low, but you don't quite make the mark, and then you die, you're still going to help out your own Odin.
This one's pretty exciting.
Odin is the All-Father. He will be your father.
This could be crazy fights. I'm excited. I'm excited.
And
this
like Odin
this is
change is going to be
just similar
fun.
to Guan.
At least, at the
at
very least, it will be fun
throughout the next couple
keep a
weeks.
close eye on it for 313. Make sure nothing gets
Show me the ult.
After Odin, we have
You're not gonna do the ult passive? What the
some
fuck?
kind of changes that I think are going to be pretty favorable here. A couple nerfs. Looking at Raijin at first. So similar to a Zhang Kui, he actually had magical protection scaling on his base stats. That's now been removed.
I see Rat down there, dude.
Just make him less tanky.
Yeah,
so
like when he was kind of initially concept in play, he was much kind of utility oriented and kind of tankier. And since people have found that he's very successful as kind of this burst mage, he goes in and does a lot of damage. And so we're just kind of making sure that we keep up with the people's playstyle. It makes more sense for him not to have the magical protection scaling.
Right. Any nerf to Raijin is,
another
friend to me.
Websites are hard. By
is
the
that
way.
another? We have another typo.
Yeah,
Can we get confirmation?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
not on
base.
base. So you don't actually have magical protection scaling on base. I don't even know what that would mean.
No.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Who wrote these, Pon? Who wrote these?
Yeah,
Pon, you wrote them.
This was you.
It's me and Pon are partially to blame.
I'm pretty sure it's us.
You can blame Hindu too. He's gone.
We
He's
did a
dealing
whole
with
run
Brexit.
over these this morning, and we might have missed a couple typos, but
this
is just affecting Raijin's protections, not making him as tanky. He is going to be more like a standard burst mage.
So he's going to lose scaling on
guys,
his magical
Rat's
protections.
getting some nerfs. I can see chat.
He's not like a Zhong anymore.
This too.
Yep.
So base stats reduced HP per level from 75 to 73. So that means now he's going to go 40 off his max health.
Total,
and then Acorn Blast damage has been reduced from 50 to 110 to
That's a
40
decent
to
change.
100. So
it's actually a good change, but I still think he'll be good.
So Rat is really falling into a pretty good place after all these adjustments. We just wanted to really, he's really tiny and really quick and does damage, so having him have a little bit more HP didn't make as much sense as having him a little bit more on the squishy side as the rest of the assassins. And Acorn Blast, it does a lot of damage. It's hard to hit with all 3 acorns now. You have to be very close, but it was doing just a bit too much damage. Now it's a lot more in line with other assassins.
Yeah, I think the other thing there is also that the early part was hit, and so his jungle is a little bit less fast, which means he's getting a little bit less levels.
His jungle's still fine because he has an AoE third attack.
It's also late game nerf, but it's also an early game.
But he still has
that change is good. I think Rat will still be strong. He'll be top 3
from the jungle.
Yeah,
okay.
Makes it more
Sylvanas receiving some small quality of life and a little bit of a buff as well. Verdant Growth, that's his one, the plant he throws.
Holy!
Reduce the time
I thought that was cooldown.
12 seconds to 5 seconds. Thank you.
I thought that was cooldown time, bro.
You're actually just watching grass grow with that ability.
As fun as that is.
And
very thematic.
And the MP5 has been increased to 20 at all ranks. So this is
I thought that was CD or complete cooldown reduction.
I know people used to like throw them into towers.
Change is decent for like buffing your team, but that's minimal. It is a quality of life.
Now, as we were talking about with Hunters and Golden Bow, is that now you might be able to pick Sylvanas when you know you're paired with an especially mana-hungry hunter. Because
so
you'll
like
be able to
Uller.
use this ability a lot more effectively.
Like on her.
That mana regen. Maybe even with a mana-hungry mid.
That's one of the few lane comps that already works for on her. I feel like Sylvanas and Kepri.
More of these pros and cons in places where these gods can really shine based on your team comp.
And honestly, Sylvanas, we haven't seen him for some time. I mean, with maybe the throwing dagger removal, maybe we'll see him back as well, and this is just going to help that out.
Yeah.
After that, we have Vamana. So this is just some readability. So Sleeping Giant.
Big changes here.
Tooltip edited to remove the description relating to his ultimate.
Okay.
And his ultimate Colossal Fury. Tooltip edited to include all functionality of this ability.
Right. So there was an old thing with Vamana, had a whole bunch of text related to his ultimate into his passive. That's just been separated to be more clear. No actual changes.
It was like Twitter. There was character limits, wasn't it?
There are a lot of
Was it actually character limits?
Maybe.
I was just joking.
Before
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because that's a really, really legacy tooltip.
But it should just read better now.
Yeah. Okay. So just going to make it easier for anyone just picking up Vamana for the first time. For those who don't know, his passive actually changes his defenses to power, right?
Yep.
That's what it is?
Yes.
And
then
bonus. The ultimate now probably says if like it gets extended and stuff like that.
All right, and then final god before we get onto Erlang Shin here, Vulcan, new passive, Master Craftsman.
Oh, they replaced it finally.
I see him. He's slowing it down. So Master Craftsman. So now
no way, movement
instead of
speed.
Slow. Whenever
Vulcan's
Vulcan successfully hits an enemy god with an ability,
Vulcan's back, boys.
15 MP5.
Passive isn't shit.
50% movement speed.
Finally.
5 seconds.
It's been forever.
So, we experimented with a couple different passives for Vulcan. Some of them changed up his playstyle a little bit more. We didn't really like those. We wanted to go back to
Vulcan with movement speed will actually be like annoying. Like
hit multiple targets.
That's actually a nice small change that could make him viable.
We wanted to make sure that we incentivized you for keeping enemies. So that's when this passive is only going to trigger when he hits enemy
finally
gods
changed though
with abilities only. but it will count his turret shots.
It does count his turret shots?
It does count
His turret gives it movement?
So you can see Vulcan's got a nice...
That's going to be gross. Oh my gosh, he got permanent movement speed.
Moving faster and regenerating mana.
He's like
refresh. It's
somewhat basically permanently 15% faster, dude.
And so just 15%, it doesn't stack at all, just you're going to have that regen.
Just refresh. But, you know, he was already a little light on the mobility side just with Backfire. Now he's got a little bit more.
Good players.
He could be quite mana.
Good Vulcan players will make Vulcan work now.
Okay, and that's it actually for the 3.5 changes. So
yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of changes. I'm very glad I could be here.
We still got the new god coming up, but
new god, yes, I forgot there's a new god. Okay.
How do you guys feel about
let's
these
see the new
changes?
god.
Think they're gonna go?
All right, we got Golden Bow gone, biggest change. Second biggest change is the new item, the new Adventurer's Blade, whatever.
A lot of these points.
Third biggest change.
I think we got a lot of really
Vulcan
good feedback.
passive.
We focus on a lot of things.
Done.
With,
those are out of that whole hour. Those are the 3 changes. You guys should take hour and a half or 20 minutes, whatever.
Happy with what we've done. I think there's also a lot of really cool things that we have, like the relics being changed.
ADC role changes completely again.
A lot of cool new things to experiment with.
Heartseeker could be good. Actually, that Heartseeker is pretty good change. I forgot about.
Yeah,
but
Heartseeker will be big too.
Exciting couple of weeks.
And the next couple of weeks are going to be kind of.
There's going to be so many new builds, by the way. Like a fuck ton of new builds.
Overperforming, correct? Right. Quick question: when's PTS coming
out? Hopefully tonight.
Yep.
That's always the hope.
Everyone, cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Tonight.
And say hopefully tonight together.
Boys.
If you have any friends.
Some PTS.
Lots of things to get ready for.
All right, guys, we're going
10 p.m.
to throw
PTS.
to a quick little thing here, and we're going to bring High-Res Fishman on.
I'm going to take my leave,
the
so
new god.
talk about the new
Thank
god.
you guys for joining us.
Show
Why are you waving? You're going too. Oh, no, you're staying?
He looks like Fernando.
Yeah,
right, so
why does he look like Fernando from Paladins?
All right,
you guys have fun. This guy looks awesome.
Here is Erlong Shen. Am I
pet?
pronouncing that right, Pon?
Erlong Shen.
He better not have a fucking pet, bro.
The wrong thing.
If he has another Caldier,
we have brought on High-Res Fishman here. This is the latest god.
First hammer change is minimal. I don't think it'll be that good.
Which I think is the most important.
Could be wrong though.
Is we got another dog in the game.
That's right.
Everyone's happy.
I want fucking pets, fish.
Man's best friend, God's best
friend. Please.
Awesome. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the lore fish?
Sure.
Around Erlong Shen.
Erlong Shen is this heavenly warrior, the illustrious sage. His mother was a goddess, and his father was a mortal man. And so his father's down in ancient China, and he's ruling this town, and then they have this problem with irrigation. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna track it down. Turns out it's not your regular drought, it's a dragon. So he gets like him and his 7 buddies, so they go beat a dragon. He whips the dragon's tail, he ties it up to a post. The dragon now on guard duty. So then he goes, he fights with Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong has the 72 transformations. Erlong Shen's got 72 transformations. He will match him transformation for transformation.
What?
He's not scared. So he's got his Howling Celestial Dog at his side. He's got his third eye with wisdom and laser beams.
Laser beams?
Yeah.
We have laser
beams?
He has strength in his sword arm, his spear arm in this case. But
laser beams.
Laser beams.
Laser beams.
Laser beams and dogs. This is, you can't go wrong.
It better not be a pet, but I'm down for laser beams, bro.
ASAP here will show off his model really quickly. I actually have not seen anything about this guide yet.
Okay.
So I'm really excited. Normally
like
Hindu cheats and has kind of an overview beforehand.
Pretty standard, but it's not bad.
I didn't have access.
Why is there Doge?
So you're unprepared.
I see you, Doge.
No, I didn't have. Come on, man.
Better
Look
not
at
be
the dog.
a damn pet.
Look at the dog.
Look at the dog's necklace, bro.
Look at the dog.
And then we can show Erlong Shen in all his glory.
Erlong Shen.
So what was kind of character model like? What was the design like for him? What were we looking for?
So he's got
It's
this
interesting that he's like human
ribbon motif that he's got with this jewel above his head. He's got this really cool looking armor. If you see those like demonic faces on his shoulder armor, really cool looking stuff. And then
that looks like some World of Warcraft shoulder blades, whatever the fuck they're called.
And this is a warrior, correct? Everyone is asking. So
he's a warrior.
Another
Chinese
warrior here.
Pantheon warrior.
All right. I mean, how do you want to start?
Oh, his hit chain looks good.
Dog.
Sure.
The hit chain looks like it has clear.
Is theoretically just adding bonus damage to his basic attacks, but we wanted to give it, make it feel like it's in its own ability. So
the dog attacks.
Dog will go do dog stuff, kind of follow around you, attack.
Is it hitting for 28? It hits harder than he does.
has the same chance to crit as you have. It crits much lower damage. It can apply.
Oh no, he's hitting for 100. Okay, okay. It still is for 28, bro. It is for a fourth. So it hit for like a fourth of his damage.
Chin size along with your chin size.
What about like a frostbound? Are you going to get a percentage slow on it, or is it
crit,
just like
bro?
That's
what I'm saying. What to?
It just applies the stacks faster.
Okay, so it's any damage item procs are going to be reduced to 15%.
That's right.
And that is Howling Celestial Dog.
That's right.
What the fuck?
I like to think
It
his
just
name
attacks
is
you're attacking. That's
that
awesome.
auto attack? I don't think we went over his
annoying.
chain.
He does have a cleave.
Yeah, he has a cleave,
4
definitely.
His melee chain.
He's a 4-hit melee chain. Holy
who
shit!
Who does the puppy go for if you change multiple people?
So it will attack the last
that 5-hit
that you hit.
So like furthest to the right, more than likely.
Yes, probably.
And what if someone jumps away as you attack? Does the dog travel to them?
So the dog will not teleport. The dog actually has a dash, so he can close gaps. But if you're too far away,
What's up with all the
he will
pets?
eventually give up. Because he can't get too far away from you, or he'll teleport back to you.
But if you're chasing him, the dog will continue to chase
right.
if you're in that range.
All right, show me some abilities.
His
His chain
one
looks
ability
good.
now, we're going to go over it, is Spot Weakness.
So his first 3 attacks of his melee chain are really quick, and so what we wanted to do is accentuate that. And so we've got a flat damage buff on that, so that it also resets your chain. So you can go fast, 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 1, and then buff fast 3 times. Then you get your buff cleave, and then continue through your melee chain. It also lets you ignore the basic attack movement penalty.
Ooh.
So
It's a
this
Fatalis?
lasts for 5 seconds. So it's you can't stay on somebody perpetually. But if you're just trying to get that last finish in, then that'll let you stay on them.
Okay, let me read out the full one too, because I don't know.
Sure.
Did you mention the cooldown as well?
I did not.
Okay, so when activated, Erlang Shin gains additional physical damage from 25 scaling up to 85. And this is not true. This is
physical.
This is just physical damage. It's not true damage like Bakasura.
It's not true damage.
Plus 15% of your physical power on each strike.
That's right.
It ignores basic attacks like we talked about. Pon is. Oh, I thought you were breaking stuff, Pon.
Oh, I can't.
But
I don't know if I can disable
so
it.
each successful
I'll try to
basic
disable
attack
Ymir.
also reduces the cooldown of the ability. So like by 1 second, it doesn't say.
I believe
What?
it's by half a second.
Hitting
Okay,
attacks
so
reduces the
even-
cooldown?
2.5.
Oh
is about what
my
you can get.
gosh, this dude's gonna be beast in the jungle unless his other abilities suck dick,
Anything
bro.
else with this ability?
Dude, fucking
self-stim.
jungle.
All right, number 2 is Pin. So Erlang Shin
He has a root?
launches a
Done.
spear that damages enemy,
Fucking root.
85 scaling up to 265, with 45% of physical power on impact. Enemies in the dead center of the effect when it lands are crippled and rooted in place for 1.15
A
scaling
cripple and a
to
root?
1.75 seconds.
That's right. So the inner
What?
circle is fairly
Oh.
small and fairly hard to hit.
My mind's
so
blown, bro.
if you can land that, especially if you can lead
The
somebody
damage
when
is
they're
pretty
running
good
away,
on it
that
too.
can also
It
help
has
you close
50%
distance.
scaling.
The outer radius is quite wide. It's to help you with your lane clear.
1 up to 2
particularly early on.
seconds?
You drop
the
that.
fuck?
Get a little turtle
What
from
the
the next
fuck?
move
I'm
we're gonna talk
done.
about, and you should have a pretty good chunk of the wave down.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to jungle this, bro.
Yeah, let's.
All night
heard
tonight
about
I'm playing
I
this
haven't
shit.
seen it yet.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Sun Wukong has 72 transformations.
That's
where
right.
you can turn into a tiger, a
Oh,
bird,
no
or a,
way.
a Nox.
That's right.
We have this on Erlang Shin as well. So why don't you just talk to me a little bit about kind of the options he has?
So 72 in Chinese mythology is kind of like an infinite number, right? They can kind of turn it into whatever they want. So where Sun Wukong has his 3 options, we wanted to simplify, kind of streamline it, get the meat of the ability. And so near and far on the targeter is the easiest to control version of that.
Now show us
There's only
what they
got
do.
2, but they've got each one of them's got a little self stem that goes along with it, so you don't feel like you're losing out in a Sun Wukong versus Erlang Shen conflict.
All right.
His close form is the turtle.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. Turtle. So it knocks up enemies in the path, dealing damage 75 to 275. So maybe a little bit of lane clear there. And gains a health shield.
That's right.
Up
Turtles
to
have shields.
215.
He gets a shield.
What?
So he's got a little bit of a shield.
Oh
Is
my
it
gosh,
only
that's so
for the
cool.
duration, or does that persist?
He's a
afterwards?
slidey
It
turtle.
lasts
For 12 seconds from the beginning
Bro,
of the ability.
he's a fucking
Okay, you can see it
slidey
there,
turtle,
the
dude.
little shell glow, and that's just going to absorb any damage and then
Oh
immediately
my
falls off after
gosh.
12 seconds. Okay.
He has a health
And
shield
then
too.
The other hold on, let me
That
see.
lasts
I
for
can't see.
12 seconds?
Do it again. Yo, look at that.
I might be able to set ground speed.
Awesome.
Are we just trolling around with
Oh
turtles?
my
Yeah.
gosh, I get to be a
No,
damn
I set the
turtle.
speed.
Look at him just like
It gives him a
flounder
speed buff
around.
when you get a speed buff.
Yo, the turtle is so
The
good.
turtle is very cool.
All right, show me the other one because that turtle's awesome.
I don't know if
Yep.
you did that. I was.
What does his long
Pretty
range
bad
do,
chance.
bro?
So just like Ox,
That's right.
but except you get a health shield. So
Yeah, it is just like Ox. Bro, this dude's going to be a
this is
There's
only
jungler.
also your
two
escape
options.
tool as well.
He's obviously
Okay,
going to be a
yeah,
solo
yeah,
laner
I wanna
too,
move you
but
guys
he's going to be a
your way.
jungler.
I'm going to knock you up, and then I'm going to move on out.
And then we're going to show the Mink as well. This one is damages all enemies, 90 scaling, or 90 to 330, up to 85% of your physical or power, or 85% of your physical power,
scaling?
stopping on first god hit and increasing attack speed 15 to 35% for 6 seconds. So this is, it's not a stun, it just, you get in there and then you have your attack
Imagine
speed
you're
increase,
one
which
and
kind of
you're
synergizes a lot with the basic attacks, right?
So you're throwing a lot of numbers at me.
I know,
I just want to take a look, and this is an adorable little marmot that we've got here. It's actually
oh my gosh, you get 30% attack speed on top of the extra power from your one.
Our version of that
with Fatalis, bro.
On the first enemy god hit, but passes through minions, so you can.
3-1, they dash away, you root them, and then you're right back on them again, and you kill them.
6 seconds of an attack speed buff.
Oh my gosh!
With your 5 seconds on your one, to give you some real physical force in the basic attack arena, especially in combination with your dog.
Oh my god.
And the Doge!
Han's breaking things.
Forget about the Doge!
I should stop using commands because it's just going to break things, but I try to show off the...
I mean, we're 72 minutes into a game. That's probably going to break things too.
Nah, that's fine. It's fine to like
so before we get into the ultimate, what's kind of the idea of the kit? What's like the identity?
So...
He's a warrior, for those who didn't hear earlier.
He's an auto attack warrior.
Okay. Which is,
he's a jungler, bro.
Bologna and Osiris.
You're Bologna and Osiris.
So. But even Bologna's more
jungler.
So this is like the first true ability or auto attack warrior.
I mean, I don't want to take that away from Osiris, but he is. We don't have very many auto attack warriors, and he is.
What? That was his ult, bros. You saw that giant cone.
Not
that was his ult. Show me.
Like an
the fucking ult.
Hercules might. His stems are set to last like 5 and 6 seconds. So that's about the time he wants to spin in an engagement. And that allows him to really put some pressure on the front line.
Okay, and then the ultimate. Are we ready for this one, Pawn?
Let's see if I can. I need to get a little bit more of setup.
All right, so while Pawn sets up, so the ultimate is 9-turn blessing. So why don't we just show it off before we say the description?
Use the fucking ult. It's a taunt? How long? Wait, what? Is it a taunt fear?
It is a taunt.
That's right.
So Erlang Shin taunts enemy gods up to 2 seconds at max range and gains damage mitigation.
That's right.
Up to 15% for the next 4 seconds. Afterwards, if he's still alive, he's healed for a big amount of health, as well as 20% of his maximum health.
That's right. So in his lore, Erlang Shin has this ability that we've translated as 9 turns blessing. And basically, it makes him one of the toughest warriors in heaven.
Up to 15% mitigation?
It's a little bit tricky to show this off.
You're still alive after you heal for a flat amount and 20% of your max health.
Bots don't want to attack you. They're all friendly. They're like, hey man, same team. We work fire as.
Bots, they all hate you.
Sure. But the idea is you're going to taunt people, so this is going to allow you to give some team fight presence, help your team out.
Imagine him and an Athena on the same team, bro.
And then to make sure you live through that taunt, you get some damage mitigations. And then
how long is the taunt?
His lore, you're undefeatable. So if you
survive, is it a 4-second taunt?
Then you get this big heal at the end afterwards to pay you off.
A fucking 4-second taunt, bro.
The cooldown for this is 85 seconds, so not the traditional 90. It's going to be up a little bit more.
Sure.
Are you not by much, right? 5 seconds, but still.
It's
that heal is a huge heal.
Some people have 90.
But if that taunt is 4 seconds.
What are we thinking here for roles? Like just solo lane,
He's a
jungle,
fucking jungler.
He's
a jungler.
We
and a solo
saw
laner.
Some pretty reasonable jungle usage.
Yes.
On him in the.
Oh
the
my
gosh.
gosh.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see him there. He held up fine. We were testing him against New Odin and New Guan Yu, and he was able to use his turtle form to survive the solo lane.
Okay.
Pretty well. So I would see him in one of those two places. I think he might be able to be.
Oh, the taunt's 2 seconds?
Is he more going to be, kind of
still
this
good
game god, or are you feeling like more late
Basically, you can go into a fight and use the ult if you're getting low just to live.
That's really where he gets a big power
spike. Like imagine if you taunt, or you Aegis taunt. No, yeah, you'd have to Aegis taunt, and then you come out of the Aegis into 1,000 heal.
Size, and then for a little while after, as he finishes his stems.
What's his passive?
And then,
or was his passive the dog?
Fight a hunter. So.
All I'm saying is I just want to just do the turtle Pawn. That's all That's all. Oh my! Look at the turtle.
Turtle's really awesome.
Look at him.
Don't.
And a dog too.
Though.
If someone doesn't make a deja vu drift meme,
Tokyo drift.
They need to make the deja vu drift meme.
Okay. There needs to be. Okay, I have a.
He does.
It's not done before the show's over. I'm gonna be upset.
I have a challenge for all you.
Throwing the gauntlet.
All you YouTubers with Erlang Shin, please make a Tokyo Drift parody with the turtle. And just like have turtles. I don't care what you do, but I want turtle drifting to be a thing. I want it to be. It needs to be. It should be like, you know how people make custom games? Like, that needs to be a thing. Like, just make a custom turtle drift game mode. Someone figure it out.
The turtle is ridiculous.
I trust in the community. They're going to get it. They're great. Somehow.
I wonder how far away they fly. They're like moving and they get knocked up by the turtle.
You have to. No, I'm just kidding. No, Erlang Shin looks awesome. Anything else you want to mention about him?
This is nasty, bros.
Voice pack and stuff.
Yeah,
let's do his voice pack.
Oh,
that's not him.
Not his voice pack.
Didn't buy it.
Pon, you didn't buy the voice pack, did you? Let's just I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
I've heard that voice pack before.
Pon, we're on cam, so
pack.
now you're gonna go buy the voice pack, and not disappoint the community.
That will take
Mr.
me forever.
Manager. Does it take you forever?
It does actually take me forever to do.
You really want to have the chat wait? Chat, do you want to wait?
Here, I'll do this. We'll do this. We'll show his defeat screen or his victory screen, and then we'll go do the voice sampling. We can do it.
Why don't we do one each? Why don't we do defeat now and then victory after the voice?
Yeah, let's do that. So let's quickly. Oh yeah, we got the recolor as well.
I like the fucking skin, bros.
So let's get the card art.
I like the skin for the god.
We'll show the victory defeat.
I like the abilities.
Right, so here's his.
I don't know what his build's gonna be.
Yeah.
He's a scary dude.
He is a scary dude.
Oh,
Man.
it's gonna be so weird, man.
Yeah, he has like gold, pink, and I think that's teal.
He's yeah.
And
he's
what's
that skin's better?
Look at this
I like that skin better.
This is illustrious.
We're badass
as well.
That's
what it's called. So it's gonna be his first skin, and I had a question about the dog that I forgot.
It's hard for me to answer the questions that you forgot.
Yeah, never mind. I think maybe I already asked it. We got the Frostbound, so he's gonna proc any on-hit effects.
Oh, he's gonna be so fun to play in the jungle.
We'll figure it out from there.
I will be playing the PTS tonight,
the
9 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming PTS. So
you new at this?
If you want to watch, be on my stream then. If you want to play, be on the PTS then.
Oh
no, there will be viewer games.
Oh no,
for sure.
I love our animators.
He's there trying to like recover from his loss of dignity. Dog is not having it.
The dog just wants to play, man. Even in loss, the dog wants to play. That's why dogs are man's best friend.
I just want to hear the voice back and then move on. Honestly,
you got to give him a treat. Where's the treat?
Oh, there's a butterfly. Oh, rip.
Oh, come on.
Rip.
See, he didn't give him a treat. You got to reward the dog.
Yeah, you got to reward it.
Yeah, okay.
You can't reward that.
Are we going to show victory next and then voice pack? What's the order?
So let's do voice packs easier to do.
Right,
so let me quickly pull that up.
So everyone, I want you to blame Pon for not buying the voice pack. He does this every couple of weeks,
voice pack, dude.
and he always forgets. All right,
good?
let's listen to it.
I'll attack middle lane. Set up an ambush here. I'll defend the Gold Fury. Enemies in middle lane! Enemies in middle lane! I'm returning right lane.
Why is he saying
Cancel that. Ultimate is down. Ultimate is ready. No problem.
So there you go. You got a good sample.
The voice pack is average as shit.
We don't get the woohoos.
The full on.
The voice pack is average.
PTS will be up, hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow, and then we're gonna take a look at the victory screen to end it. And
if I can.
No, I'm actually really excited. This is going to be an interesting god because we don't really, like you said, we don't really have the Warriors
dumpster
focus
That's right.
outside
with this god.
of
I can already feel it.
Osiris. So seeing kind of the build styles, see where
he
people
plays
go.
a lot differently.
Aw, that's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a good dog.
See, he's perfectly willing to be playful with the dog when he wins.
Yeah.
When he wins, he's like, if he loses, he's like, no, sit.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Y'all want this dog.
All right. Well,
No turtle, just the mink.
an interesting patch that went
There you
from.
go.
You can drift in
It
game
went
with
from.
the turtle.
I just dropped my camera.
That's all.
Didn't
That's
break.
all.
Anyway,
so that's
the
gonna
patch
be it
went
for
from
the
shit
the
to
mid-season
good
update in
to
Erlang.
shit
It only took
to
us an
really
hour
good.
and 40 minutes.
Yeah, chat. You
That was
got
a
any questions?
big
Or
patch
we'll,
filled with averageness. All right. Well then, I'll be streaming tonight. Like I said, this will be up on YouTube in like, I don't know, 30 minutes. So if you want to go back through and watch this, there you go. The new god will be my god because I'm going to be playing him all day, every day for the next forever. I'll see you all later. Have a good night or good evening, I guess. I'll be on tonight, so I'll see you later and have a good evening. Go have fun playing video games and waiting for the patch or the PTS to come up because I'll be on when the PTS comes up tonight. So, see y'all later.
Sacred stone.
Oh, this You crazy mother.